$125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village. Facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. It's your show later.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
We are once again here. I'm munching once again.
Soraya is munching, feeding her flesh once again. Heart disease is the #1 killer of people in America.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the last time that I ate was this morning. Well, I say this morning. It was like at around 12 o'clock. So it's been 9.5 hours. I think that I should deserve a little lunch. All right, we have a stream. This stream tonight is for DJ Franco.
DJ Mike Franco.
And I know that you're surprised since just a few days ago he was here with a movie for us, but you know what it is. Some people are here with the business multiple times a month, and that is DJ Franco's business.
You know what it is.
All right, you guys. This is Vincent. I'm Soraya. Assuming everybody knows who we are, but in case you don't, we are here to review music, and the music is picked by our DJ. If you want to know how to make a DJ stream yourself, watch the commercial.
Or send us an email, vinsori@gmail.com. That too.
All right, so up first on the stream, can I get that timestamp?
Timestamp is 7:50. Just do 8. Just do 8 minutes.
All right. Godslave with the song Illness, but this is actually the instrumental version. So sit back and listen. Our DJ says, let's start the stream with a bang. Enjoy the stream, everyone.
All right, guys, here we
Smile.
go. What was it? The patented...
Smile emoji.
The patented Mike Franco smile.
Smile.
All right, guys, here we go. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I just found you. Here it is. What did you call it?
This is Godslave.
Godslave.
The name of the song is Illness, but it's the instrumental Illness.
Instrumental
check it out.
Illness.
He said let's start it with a bang, so get ready.
I just realized what I did.
Perhaps you should ready your necks, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's ready our necks.
We've got about, 6 songs tonight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 songs tonight, so we've got plenty of time to hang out. So get your popcorn or whatever.
I keep doing
And your
this.
non-alcoholic drinks.
Yes. Correct. Non-alcoholic. Alcohol is the devil. Let's
Nice.
go.
Okay. That would be a good running song, right?
Yeah. I was just
When
thinking
you hit the sprint.
That was, that's it. The sprint for the last, I used to do a sprint for the last quarter mile before my injury.
Whew. Now I just eat tortillas. I'm literally eating a tortilla. Okay. So we've never heard, or I don't believe we've heard the lyrical version of that.
No.
I definitely, I don't know if it makes it or breaks it. Like, I don't know if you add the lyrics, if it's like, oh, like I liked the instrumental version. It was fast. I always like it when they make a guitar. I always say scream, but screaming guitar.
No, I
love
no.
that.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. Screaming guitars.
Yeah. So I always like it when it hits that part, and it was just really fast moving. Could you play this song?
I could probably play it after 10 listens, except for the solo. Solo, I could not do.
Even if my children's lives were on the line, it
I
would take
just-
me
I
probably
just
10 years.
I gotta figure out these solos. I gotta figure them out. But the rhythm stuff, no problem. I'm getting pretty good at rhythm stuff. But that lead solo stuff, man, it's just a lot of talent. I don't think people realize how talented you have to be to come up with all this stuff from scratch and do it. It's like, oh, it's 2.5 minutes. I can do this for 2.5 minutes. It's like, there's so many things that go into it. You got to worry about certain notes. You got to worry about pace. You got to worry about tempo. You got to worry about keeping your arm alive so that it doesn't die. Like, you got to see that with me. Although a lot of that is just my bad technique.
It was impressive.
A lot of that's just my bad technique. But like James Hetfield was known for that. He was just like downstroking the entire time. Like, it's very hard. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's a lot of stuff here in this solo, not just the solo, but in the song itself, that makes it like really ridiculously hard to play. So good for them. Good for that. What a way to introduce, like, that's a, like, we're on this like heavy vitamin regimen, whatever. Eventually, I'm sure we're gonna incorporate some sort of morning exercise routine. That's just like to get you up and get the exercise going, all type of shit. Mike, how do you use that? How do you use that song, Mike? Because it's so short. Like, what do you do? See what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
the little
exactly.
5-minute push-up session. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But,
wait, this could be the plank. How long was the song?
That's his alarm clock.
Oh, nice!
That's
I
his
like
alarm
that.
clock. He says, would you say how long is this song? Hold on, let me check again.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good one
you can
because
plank that.
Yeah, it's positive. Like,
It's only 2 minutes 18 seconds.
yeah.
Literally, I had it at 1:18 when I came back out after my whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So 2:18, easy.
Yeah, I think that'd be a perfect alarm clock. I don't know how to switch it on to actually put a song in it for the alarm instead of like just alarms.
Yeah. I think it's probably goes through some app or something.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you do that? Well, Mike doesn't have
iPhone?
he doesn't have an iPhone.
Oh.
So yeah, he's one of those green people.
Mm.
I talk to Mikey every day. He's one of them green people.
I don't always notice whether somebody's green or blue, but anyway, yeah, that's right. He just said I have an Android. So I would like this one as an alarm. I think it would be a great sprinting part, and I'm probably actually going to try it for my plank.
Yeah, well, we'll do it after. Mm-hmm. We'll do it after. We'll see if you can hang.
Well, I was going to say, well, it depends. Right now, I feel like, yeah, I'll do it after. But sometimes after the streams get done, I'm like, I'm going to eat and go to bed.
What was the original one? Was the original one like 317?
Well, I don't believe I ever did 317. I think the most I've ever done was 2 something. I don't believe I've ever done.
No, you stayed with me to the 317 one. You just didn't stay for the 4 clicks or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you stayed for the 317.
You never can tell with Vin because he'll set an alarm and he'll be like, all right, let's do this for 2 minutes. But then he'll set the alarm for 2 minutes and 17 seconds. And then on top of that, he has this thing where he'll like go for like 4 or 5 or 10 other rings after it's going. So you don't really know how long you're doing it for. You have to get your mind in a different space. Where it's just, I'm up here for the long haul. Let's focus on something else.
Yeah. You have to be ready to suffer.
Yeah.
And that
a song like that will help you suffer.
Yep.
You know, you might be able to do it in an anthill for all you know.
Only you would do it in an anthill.
That was legendary status. That was legendary status,
Ridiculous.
Dear listener.
It was
Okay.
so ridiculous. Okay.
It was short and sweet. I'm going to go with a 9.5.
I'm going 9.7.
Or as Middle always says, a 95.
9.7 for me. DJ Franco, what did you give it? Can I have some of that? That's celery water.
Some of your celery water, disgusting. Planks be hard. My max is not even 2 minutes. I guarantee you, Amy, if your life depended on it, you could do more than 2 minutes. I did a 5-minute plank after a half an hour in a sauna one time. That was a challenge. But it's when you see those black spots and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a challenge. Yes, Dwayne, you missed the first song. It was actually a Beatles song.
Actually, Dwayne,
It was a
we've
Paul
already done
McCartney.
3 songs.
They were all Beatles songs.
Yeah. But now we're moving on to, what's a band he hates?
Slipknot.
We're headed on to Slipknot.
No, I don't think Dwayne hates Slipknot. I've never heard him actually disparage the 9.
Okay, and Mike, I have one other question. What do you rate this
XBM
song,
in the
Mike?
house.
And I want to know what you rate the lyrical version. I want to know what the two ratings are for you.
Yeah, is there a lyrical version to this?
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to all my Twitterati, or the I don't know how to call people from X. What do you call
Exians.
them? Exians or Xtians. That's how you say. It's a shorthand way of saying Christians. What's up, Xtians? Good to see you. Good to see you.
No, that was a peace
We're
sign.
going forward.
I put a peace sign.
We're going forward, inshallah. Okay, it's only the instrumental, babe. He said that a million trillion times.
I'm sorry.
All right, 9.5 for me. I didn't get the thingy from Mike.
It's the instrumental version of the song Illness. So I misunderstood. I thought that meant that there was another version. So no, there's
There's no such thing.
strike that from the record. All right.
Dwayne goes, let's block our host and see what happens. Yeah, just block the host.
How would you do this, Dwayne?
I think it's because he doesn't like you because you're a colonizer. Because you got the colonizer DNA, so all that gang shit.
Old bark and no bite.
All right, guys. Song numero dos. Numero dos.
No commercials, huh?
That was to get your appetited.
Mm-hmm. All right, up next is Never Surrender. I'm going to let you read that, babe.
See, look, colonizer. What? Ahamura Takeyoshi featuring Marty Friedman and Titatani.
Okay.
Titatani. Shout out to Titatani. Okay, here we go.
Or Never Surrender.
Wait. Let's timestamp first. Let's do that all over again. Timestamp. Let's go 1945 for the timestamp. We don't have Ben here, so.
I know. How are we ever going to keep up? How will we do our job?
All right, this next band is,
Okay.
It's called Never Surrender. Scroll up real quick.
It's right there. Is that too small?
By Amhura. I said scroll up. Homura Takeyoshi featuring Marty Friedman and Titatani. We have a little bit of an introductory thingamajiggy from our
DJ.
Our DJ
Franco says.
Stand by.
You know what? I'm going to let you do it because there's those names and I just butcher them. It's just so disrespectful.
Homura Takeyoshi is a talented Japanese guitarist known for his work in the rock and metal scenes. He's an ex-guitarist of baby metal, and he's collaborated with many notable musicians, including Marty Friedman, the former lead guitarist of Megadeth.
Oh.
I think Marty Friedman had the solo of the year in 2023 or something like that, which is what made me do that solo that I did. The one solo that I've done
kidding.
was inspired. I think it was Marty Friedman. He got solo of the year or something. Titatani is a vocalist who has contributed to some of Omura's projects as well. The song Never Surrendered is a high energy track that blends heavy guitar riffs and powerful vocals with which is characteristic of their style, and it definitely showcases the virtuosity of both Omura and Friedman. Please enjoy this rock solid pick, dear
All right,
listener.
you guys, we own the night.
We own the night.
Let's check it out.
All right. Wait, that's the name of the song?
No, We Own the Night is Franco's theme for tonight.
Oh,
We Own the Night.
correcto.
He said Vin Sori, DJ Franco.
All right, Never Surrender in this bitch. You got the lyrics?
Yeah, I already
Did you send them
to
yet?
you, I think.
All right, guys, here we go. Unbelievable. It's gonna be hard already, I can tell. Let's freaking go.
Sometimes I think I wonder why some memories from the past repeat today again. There's no time to spare, my friend. We need to find fearlessly again. Love deeper spheres. It's time to be free or to be a slave. Together we stand, all unite we fall. Don't surrender to yourself. It's up to you and me. No one can see how deep is my soul. I'm trying to help you. Don't you hear it's the last call? No time to waste. Believe me or not, it's just a problem. I never surrender to leave you this way. No more question, no more lies. What I need is just to ever peace of your mind. My life been changing through these years. The self-person in me has been killed by myself. It's time to be free or to be a slave. Together we stand, all unite we fall. Don't surrender to yourself. It's up to you and me. No one can see how deep is my soul. I'm trying to help you. Don't you hear it's the last call? No time to waste. Believe me or not, it's just a problem. I never surrender to leave you this world. It's time to be free or to be a slave. Together we stand, all unite we fall. Don't surrender to yourself. It's up to you and me. No one can see how deep is my soul. I'm trying to help you. Don't you hear it's the last call? No time to waste. Believe me or not, it's just a problem. I never surrender to leave you. Never surrender to leave you. Never surrender, my friend. My friend.
Ah.
That's a good one. What
yeah.
do you think about those lyrics?
Yeah. I mean, they're good lyrics. It's good. That's real. That's real, legit friendship and brotherhood. Yeah. Why? Did you get what did you get from it?
Well, he says at the beginning, I feel like this probably could apply to a lot of different people in a lot of different situations. But he says, sometimes I think and I wonder why some memories from the past reappear today again. There's no time to escape, my friend. We need to fight fearlessly against our deepest fears. And so it kind of sounds like what's happening is that he has these thoughts or memories or something that are coming from the past. And he's saying, I don't even know why they just like pop up. But he's saying we have to fight against our deepest fears, which I think he's saying is fight against those thoughts that come up. And he said, it's time to be free or to be a slave, which I liked that also because it's this sort of moment of decision whether or not, I guess everybody has something different that they fear or something different that kind of comes back to them. So when he says like it's time to be free or be a slave, I feel like he's deciding like, okay, today is the day, and either I need to decide that I'm going to be free, and so I'm going to fight against these fears and do whatever it is to overcome them in whatever way that is, or he's saying, or it's just going to enslave me. But then he says, together we'll stand or unite. That I thought was interesting. Together we'll stand or unite we'll fall. Why unite we'll fall?
I think he's saying united. I think he's saying.
So is he basically saying you think
together we'll stand? I think he's saying together we'll stand or united we'll fall.
In other words, we're going to be together regardless whether it's stand or fall.
I think he's saying is your fate is directly tied to mine.
Don't surrender to yourself. It's up to you and me. And then he says, "Oh, you got something you were going to say?"
Nah, go ahead.
No one can see how deep is my soul. How deep in my soul I'm trying to help you.
AT, what's up, baby?
No one can see how deep in my soul I'm trying to help you. Don't you hear? It's the last call. So I don't know if the other person is not.
It looks to me like the other person is probably an addict of some sort, and I'm assuming it's alcohol, because last call is what they say in the bar when they're about to close it, and it's the final round for drinks.
Yeah.
So he's saying, you got this problem. You got this problem, and he's saying, I'm trying to help you.
Yeah.
And he's just basically selling out his whole life and saying, okay, well, if you go down, I'm going down with you, because that's it.
Wow. He says, I'll never surrender to leave you in this way. No more questions, no more lies. What I need is to just have a piece of your mind. We're usually peace of mind, but he says a piece of your mind.
Smart writing.
What, is he trying to understand him, or what does he mean by
Ben in the house.
Webb? Which Ben?
No, he's trying to.
Ben Bear. What's up, Ben?
He's trying to get him to see the addiction the same way he sees the addiction. So he's like, I need a piece of your mind, because his current mind is dominated only by his desire for another drink or another hit or whatever. So he's like, I need a piece of your mind, because his entire mind is consumed by his addiction. So he's trying to help him, and he's saying, I got to get inside of your head, because I can't change your mind.
Yeah.
With this stuff. Hello, video description timestamp for the homie. We did. We did actually, and we actually referenced you. So when you go back and watch the replay, you'll see that you were thought of. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's interesting, because he says, no one can see how deep in my soul I'm trying to help you. But you'd think that if somebody's helping an alcoholic, everybody else would be like, man, that guy really wants to help him.
Unless he's
carrying on.
Unless he's surrounded by people who are enabling the alcoholic.
Oh,
which is very possible.
Yeah.
This guy's got a very big uphill battle.
Yeah.
I think what he's saying is angle that upwards. But I think what is really beautiful. And obviously, if I would have had that idea about my brother, he'd probably still be around today. But I was out here making boundaries and all type of shit. But the selfish person in me has been killed by myself. yeah, man, it's pretty fucked up, you know, because his kids, you know, they're out there alone. I found some pictures of my brother. A lot of them are like with the three of us. And he's like, "Who's that?" And I was like, "That's my brother. That's my big brother." Oh, that's right, because Reza was crying because Orion had all the Fortnite time, because Reza's time on Fortnite is obviously a lot shorter than Orion's, because Orion is a Fortnite expert, literally. And
Orion
so
is
he was,
6 and Reza is 4.
and Reza's a middle child, so he was crying. And I was holding him. I was like, "Yeah, man. You know, I was a middle child too. I got an older brother, and a young brother." And so he's like, "Oh." So I'm showing him my older brother. And he said, "Well, where is he?" And I was like, "Well, he's in another country right now, actually." And he's like, "Well, what about your younger brother?" So I showed him my younger brother, and he's like, "Where's he?" I was like, "Oh, he's with Jesus." And then he goes, "He's in the kingdom of heaven?" I don't know where that came from, but I was like, "Yeah, man, he's in the kingdom of heaven, man." He's like, "Well, I'm gonna go and see him." I was like, "You can't see him right now, bro." But yeah, if I would have had this attitude, he'd probably still be here for sure. Funny how shit works out, I guess. But this guy that he's trying to help, it looks like he's about to hit an event horizon, you know, like that point where, and you know, you can die of alcohol poisoning, by the way. I think it's called the death certificate, acute ethanol poisoning or something like that. Just as a public service announcement to people that think, you know, the only people that OD are fentanyl addicts or whatever. I was very, very surprised because, you know, he's 6'2", 6'3", and you don't really think about people that big falling victim to alcohol poisoning. So, but yeah, that can happen. So it's a public service announcement. Like, it's crazy too, because when I was talking to the sheriff or whatever the fuck, because every time one of my people dies, I'm always like in denial. I'm like, "Are you sure?" Blah blah blah. He's like, "Yo, I was there. Like, he's gone." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, I was convinced that it was, you know, fentanyl or some crazy shit. But he's like, "There's quite a few bottles of alcohol here." Blah blah blah. It was like flashback with my mom, where the medical examiner was like, "There's quite a few bottles of pills around here." But yeah, man. So that shit can really, really, really take you out, for sure. So be careful, y'all. And that's not a fun way to go either, apparently. So. But that is a good line, though, like when he talked about, like, you know, will we stand together or fall together or whatever. Because that shit is true. Like,
Yep.
My son, it's crazy because I was thinking about my oldest, like literally thinking about him. And like the moment I was thinking about him, he messaged me and he goes, "Are you okay?" And I wasn't okay. I was thinking about my brother, which is what I do every day, all day. And I was like, "Why would you ask me that?" Because I'm like, "Yo, there's some real, like, you know, like," he's like, "Well, you know, the stock market's in crypto." He's like, I pulled out just in time or whatever. And I was like, "Oh, it's my boy. That's my boy." And I was happy about that, actually, because it's like, you know, I'm a burden to be around at this point. So it's good. It's good for him. It's good for him. But yeah, like it's really crazy because it is true though. Like with people that you love, like it's a real crazy thing. Like if you truly love the person, like there is a part of you that is gonna die with them. Like period. Doesn't mean that you can't move on. It doesn't mean that there isn't a future or whatever. But there's a real like, yeah, man. I don't know how much losses I'm gonna take before I become a fucking zombie in this bitch because you keep losing people. But yeah, it's a good song, and yeah, definitely it was definitely some like virtuoso guitar playing and shit. But never surrender, my friend. And I was just thinking about the irony. I'm like, this dude is doing this for his friend. This was my fucking brother, man. Damn. So shout out to all the friends out there, like doing all that good shit for your people, man. I appreciate it, literally. You know. Don't take that shit for granted. You know. You got people around you. Don't take the shit for granted. He was like, oh, this person's taking advantage of me. It's like, I don't care. I'd let him take advantage of me for the rest of my life if he was alive. I wouldn't care. But yeah, at the end of the day, like, AT is right. Like, you know, I'm not going to get into everybody's business, but, you know, I'm not the only one who's lost people here. You know what I'm saying? So, but on the other side, it's like, there's a reason that the person who's an addict fell into their addiction. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, we can judge them all we want, you know, because I go back and forth between saying, man, you know, judging myself and then judging him. Like, what the fuck, man? You had kids. What the fuck are you doing? But at the same time, it's like, you know, he had traumas himself, man. He had terrible traumas himself, you know? So you can't really judge a person for trying to medicate, and that's what went into my head when it was like, we don't know why these things flash in your brain, you know, whatever. And you know, I know what that's like, you know, when some horrible scene flashes in your brain, like that shit is difficult to deal with, you know. And everybody handles those flashes differently and handles those traumas differently, and you can't blame a person for medicating that way. And there's a part of me that's like, yeah, I ain't gonna say that. That's irresponsible. But yeah, but I still judge the fuck out of him because it's terrible because he's got kids, you know. But I can't really look at him. And like I Facebook message him and go, hey, you know, I'm here for you, blah blah blah. But I don't know, man. I don't even know like how to. Anyway, I'm getting out of this review. What about you?
Yeah.
Jerry Barnes! Oh my god!
Who's that?
Dude, Jerry Barnes was like the OG. I was talking to Jerry when he was still deployed. I think he was in pretty sure he was in Afghanistan at the time.
He's not the one that got us started on Patreon, is he?
He is literally the guy that got us started on Patreon. It was his idea.
Wow, well, Jerry, we appreciate you, man.
We appreciate you, Jerry. For show. Yeah, Central Scrutinizer lost some people to drugs. Larry lost some people to drugs. That's why, like, sometimes I get messages from y'all. I'd be like, oh, man, it's so good to have a community. Thank you for the community you built, blah, blah, blah. And I always go, oh, you know, we need it too, yada, yada, yada. And people think that I'm just, like, being, you know, like, nah, I should, you know, like, there's only one other group of people I was able to, like, be this honest about in the discussion. And it was a very exclusive group and very difficult to get into that group. So, like,
Highball.
Yeah, you guys genuinely appreciate y'all for sitting here and listening to me ramble. I mean, it is relative to the song, so it's a silent count for me just because of the
nature of the song. Yeah.
The nature of the
Yeah.
beast. Shout out to the homie Revo.
Yep. Shout out to Revo. We got a birthday stream for Revo coming up soon.
Yes, a birthday stream
Check
for sure.
on Patreon to find out when that is. I'm gonna go with a silent count also. Yeah, for sure.
But I'm serious, so I do want to shout out all the people that like have been fighting and supporting addicts and doing your best and like selling out like this, because this dude like really sold out. He's like, look, man, like, okay,
Yep.
we die together on this shit, you know?
Yeah.
So good for that. At the same time, like, I'm saying that, but at the same time, it's like, you do have a life. And you do have to live your life. And you guys got kids and wives, and even if you don't have kids and wives, like, your life is important and valuable by itself, as itself. And you cannot stop your life because another person stopped their life. You know what I'm saying? And you can't, you know, there's a passage in the Bible that says, bear one another's burdens, but be careful that you don't end up falling into the same sin, basically, is the idea.
Really?
Yeah, that's in Galatians. So it's like, that's a real tough balance, man, to where, like, obviously I did not, you know, come through for my brother, but at the same time, it's like some of y'all, you know, it's important to bear that burden, but you got to make sure that you don't end up in a situation where you end up, you know, in the same situation because you're so fucked up that this person that you loved couldn't make it out, you know? Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
I think my biggest problem is anytime I'm in a situation, I always say to myself, look, as long as I can look in the mirror and say, I did everything, I said everything, then you know, cool, whatever happens, happens. That's why I was able to take my mom's death a lot easier than my, you know, little brother's death. But I was supposed to protect my little brother at the end of the day, you know? So, rest in peace to him, you fucking... Anyway, alright guys. Commercial break. We will be right back. AJ in this bitch. AJ in this bitch. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. AT in the house. Shout out to the big homie
What's
AT.
up, Paula?
We will see you guys on the other side of the break. We got more metal coming for you, beautiful people. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone. We're coming back though. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull
You
that off.
can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee,
Can't
a
guarantee
positive
you a
review.
positive review.
Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village. Facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, indeed. A child shall lead them. Disgusting.
So buy our merch.
Did
Why?
you see that fucking commercial?
It was just lotion for your leg.
No, it was mayonnaise. It had mayonnaise in it.
No.
I promise you. They're like,
Mayonnaise?
oh, it's good for your hair, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, dead ass. Disgusting. Okay, here we are.
All right. We are
Here
on a
we
DJ
are.
Franco stream. We're on song number 3. Song number 3 is from a band called Scorpions, and the name of the song is When the Smoke is Going Down.
Oh my God. When the smoke is going
Let's
down.
see what our DJ has to say. Oh, he says, very underrated ballad from the Scorpions. Enjoy. And I am just sending you
Very
the lyrics.
underrated, he says.
Yes,
All right.
and I'll take that timestamp,
We'll be to the
please.
judge of that, dear listener. Timestamp, go with 4655. All right, guys, here we go. Scorpions, When the Smoke Goes Down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. Now.
Just when you made your way back home, I find some time to be alone. I go to see the place once more. Just like 1,000 nights before, I climb the stairs again this night, 'cause the place seems still alive when the smoke is going down. This is the place where I belong. I really love to turn you on. I've got your song still in my ear. While your traces disappear, I climb the stairs again this night, 'cause the place seems still alive when the smoke is going down. I climb the stage again this night, 'cause the place seems still alive when the smoke is going down. When the smoke is going down. When the smoke is going
That was the Scorpions.
Scorpions.
He sounded
When
a
the
little
smoke
bit,
is going
a little
down.
bit like my favorite singer. What's that guy's? I keep forgetting the guy's name. It's the one that invented the thingamajig. He replaced Ozzy in the band. I always forget his name. I feel terrible.
Ladies and gentlemen,
They'll Dwayne says me. I'm sure somebody's gonna let me know, but he kind of had that creamy vocal style that I
yeah,
always
it's
talk
nice.
about.
It was very nice.
And this Dio. How do you
Oh,
forget
my
Ronnie
word.
James
How did
Dio?
yeah.
You dumb butt. Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely Ronnie James Dio for sure. Yeah, so what was going on with you? You seemed you were really
I loved
vibing on
it.
that
yeah,
song, bro.
I just loved the way that it sounded. I mean, at first I kind of thought it was like some sort of I thought maybe they lost somebody and they were like reminiscing of that, but then it was like just when you make your way back home. By the end, I kind of thought he was talking about how he just loves to be on the stage and perform, because he talked about the smoke. I climbed the stage again this night because the place seems still alive when the smoke is going down. And
XPM goes, sounds like we're either talking about literally the stage or the bedroom. Could be both. Of course, in our case.
What's the difference?
We continue.
Oh, that's so funny. He says, just when you make your way back home, I find some time to be alone. I go to see the place once more, just like 1,000 nights before. So I don't know.
Maybe that's the proverbial you. You know, maybe he starts off with the proverbial you, and then he goes to talk about himself. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, could be. Could be. I just thought it was saying, just when you make your way back home. I didn't know if it was... So, at first I thought it was about a relationship, like a romantic relationship. So I thought it was...
Imagine
maybe
that.
she was like, you know what? I'm not dealing with this stage life anymore. And so then she leaves, and then just as he, like, convinced her, no, stuff's gonna be different, whatever, like, and just as she makes her way back home, he finds some time to be alone. He's like, okay, I'm going to take some time. And then he goes to see the place, and he finds himself back on the stage because no matter what, he can't help but be there. But then I wasn't sure if he had lost somebody, and being on the stage and being in that crowd, like, brought them back in a way.
Yeah, I just took it as somebody in the band died or something, or quit. Because he says, this is a place where I belong. I really love to turn you on. I've got your sound still in my ear while your traces disappear. So I was like, okay, this is somebody in the band
That he loves to turn on?
moved on the band or whatever. Maybe he's talking about being on the stage in the entire situation. But keep going.
So I don't know if I've
it's
got
mixed between the relationship and the stage. Yeah, it might be the conflict between.
That's what I'm getting from it.
Yeah, I had a certain kind of job, and I was like, you know, when we were gonna get together, and I'm like, there's no way that this is gonna work. And I was right. I was very right. If I would have we wouldn't have lasted 6 months if I would have been in that situation. So I don't know, dude. Sometimes you gotta choose, but at the same time, like, I was kind of ready because, you know, my life at home had been blown up. My kids were completely wrecked. So it wasn't like she was the only reason. It was just kind of like, you know, it's one of those things where, like, they talk about in professional sports, like, when you start thinking about retiring, it's over. Like, when you start talking about that and thinking about that, it's over. And so it's like, I was already thinking that way, and it's like, you know, that's not the type of job you kind of fuck around with. Like, well, I don't know. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, it just has to be. Sometimes people catch each other in the wrong timeline. You know, that's like the big thing. Like, sometimes people just catch each other. So if it's a relationship song, it looks like that's what happened with Shorty.
I see. Yeah, that's what I got out of it.
The Scorpions hold.
When he talks about the smoke going down, what is he talking about, though? Is that at the end of the show, or is he talking about when the smoke is rolling down off the stage? Sounded like the ending of something, though.
I think that's both, right? Like, it's really interesting. We were at the Korn show. It was the first time we were, like, backstage with a major band.
Yep.
I kind of saw this with Evanescence, but it wasn't the same because Amy Lee was like really full of life. Like she was really, even when she got off the stage, she was smiling, all type of shit. I was only able to talk to her for 14 seconds, y'all, because Sori believes that every woman on the planet is in love with me. So I was like, yo, Shorty, you can really sing. I can't believe it. And so we were in the catering room, and then like she turned around. She's like, oh, I'm going to talk to you now. So I went to talk to Shorty, and I was like feeling the radiation, y'all.
There actually wasn't any radiation, I don't think. I turned around to talk too, and you said that who I was to you. And then the conversation ended really quickly. So whatever it was, it was.
But like the first time I saw the Korn show, it was like we're backstage, we're hanging out, and we had hung out for a really long time, and I felt bad. I was like watching Brian. I was like trying to make sure that make sure that he was like, because he was rocking from like beginning to end of the show, like it was like 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I remember like one of the times he came in to change or whatever. I'm like, how are you still doing this? And he's like, it's the Lord. And then he went back out.
He was eating Skittles.
He was eating his Skittles. And then I looked, because you were right there with Homeboy, and I looked, and like the state, it was like a sea of people, and like everybody was like jamming, and I was like, damn, like this is some magical shit. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know if you remember this. So we were hanging out with him, whatever, and then when he was like, oh, I'm going to take my shower, but like you guys can still, just stay around if I take my shower, whatever. I was like, nah, man, you go to bed, whatever. And we're going out, and we were at the stage. Did you remember seeing the stage as we were leaving?
Yeah.
And like the place was empty, and then the people were.
I'm always distracted by the mess. I'm like, who has to clean this?
Yeah, yeah. There's a bunch of mess, but the big thing that struck me was like, this is just a platform of wooden planks.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Like it just seemed so empty. Like I was just like, this is legit just a platform of wooden planks. That's all the thing was. But an hour ago, it was like some portal into some different world. It was some fantasy, whatever. Like it was. Yep. It was crazy just to see the desolation and the emptiness of it. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking to myself like, I'm going home with you. I wasn't going home, but we were in a hotel. But probably not going to go to a hotel probably for the rest of our lives.
Probably not.
But it was very strange. Like I'm going, and I just felt like this like emptiness. Like you feel.
Yeah,
like,
he felt. Yeah.
And so it's like, I can imagine when he says when the smoke is going down, like that's a constant. Like, I remember one time I was watching a show and like it looked like the dude didn't want to leave the stage. I mean, they were the headliners, whatever. They had done an amazing show. It was very long, and it looked like he didn't want to leave the stage. I'm like, what the fuck going on, man? Like, you're good. Like, get off. Like, oh, he's just trying to absorb all the glory. But having that walkthrough and seeing how empty that place was, I was like, nah. Like that's probably a really difficult moment, man.
Yeah, and okay, a couple of things. One is when he says, I really love to turn you on, I've got your sound still in my ear. I think you were already kind of saying this, but obviously, like, you think of the sexual, thing side of that with, like, her, but also with the crowd.
Wait, what? The sexual side of what?
Yeah, like where he says, I love to turn you on, like, if he loves to turn her on and he has the sound of her still in his ear.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But if you're looking at it on the side of the stage, right. And like when you see, like when you're on like this side, like we would be like right behind the band or like just like off to the side. So you're basically like seeing almost from their angle. And the crowd is just so alive and so responsive to them. And like, it's like this. I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like, well, there's that verse that is a creepy cat just looked out at us on that couch. Like when it talks in the Bible about like, and they became as one man.
Yeah.
But it's essentially a bunch of voices.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like the energy of like one being, but it's not. It's a bunch of people. And so like the band puts something out and then they respond back, and it's sort of this back and forth. It's a crazy experience. especially from my perspective, because I was never into, Korn or any of the big bands. So like being behind there was interesting to see how it was going.
Yeah.
And it was like a little bit weird because I was like, yeah, I remember seeing this guy on a poster, but I never had that like big feelings or draw toward any of them. So like that feeling or experience was stripped away from the experience of being back there. So I was like watching you, enjoying it. Like you looked so happy when you were back there being part of that. And then like peeking over and just watching the crowd just like react so much was just wild to me. And then the third thing is like, you and I are different in this. Like I like to talk about like energies. Like, look, I'm a Christian, but I feel like I can feel energies. Like if somebody's positive or negative or whatever.
There's nothing unchristian about that.
Well, like people start getting uncomfortable when you start talking energies.
Yeah, but with our people though, our people don't care about that shit.
But anyway, I'm like that feeling of like, so after sometimes after certain events, like really like, okay, so at my house, I used to have a bunch of people come over, and then we would do like these like hours and hours long stuff where we were in the Bible, praying, reading, worship. It was crazy. It was some of the best times of my life was during that time period. And like when everybody would leave, there wasn't like this heavy sadness. It felt like peaceful, like because you had just brought God's presence like into there. But like the stage thing, like he said, when everybody leaves, like it's almost like the depression of everybody's like after like the show is over, downers like hits them when the show is like basically done and everybody's like walking out heading to their car, and like all that energy felt like it was just sitting in that area. And then you came out and you looked at this stage that looked so plain because now the lights are on. Before it was like the lights that make everything look cool.
Yeah.
Now it's like the bright lights where it's like the cleanup crew is coming in. There's just trash everywhere. And like the black doesn't look black anymore. It looks like this sort of like, even the black, you know what I mean? Doesn't even look.
It's just wood.
Yeah, everything just looks.
It's just wood. That's
and,
it.
And then just that heavy feeling of like, I don't know if it's like depressive and it just feels like it's. I don't know. It's just not a good feeling. I just didn't like it. I was like, man, no wonder people try to, don't be the last one out. But anyway, yeah, so I could see, like, if you're, like, really like that environment where he talked about the love, like, I love to turn you on, like, that sort of back and forth. That's what it made me think of was, like, when I peeked over the side of one of the things and like looked at the crowd just like responding back to Korn, like, and they were going and it was an experience for sure.
Yeah, it's you don't know the chances, and there's 10,000 people. What if I should die?
Yeah.
And like seeing it from this way,
yeah,
was like insane.
And I didn't know the words to anything, so I'm just like watching them do their thing, and then all of a sudden everybody at the same time, which I didn't know it was coming, and you're doing it too.
Yeah, they
fun.
mute everything.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't know the chances.
Yep.
What if I should?
Then there was that other band. Was it Alice in Chains, where they were like talking with the crowd was like with their lighters, like you just felt like I didn't know anything
with the phones.
Yeah, you just felt a part of it.
Yeah, and we could have been back there too. We just didn't know, but it was good to be in the audience. But it would have been cool to like see that too, like a sea of phones. But that did happen with Korn when they did For You. Everybody did the exact same thing.
I'm glad I was exactly where I was. For
and
Alice in Chains.
We took a bunch of pictures of those. I gotta find
and
where
video.
Yeah, I gotta find where those are.
I just need the date, and then we can get it easily.
Okay. I like this song.
Definitely,
definitely 9.2.
I don't know what they get. 9.2. I'm offended.
What did you give it?
I really like this one. It was a 9.8 for me.
Okay, 9.8.
9.8.
One last thing though, XBM, as you were saying this, XBM had already said this 2 minutes earlier. What? That amount of spiritual energy together at a show is probably only second to a legit church gathering. So like as you were talking about that, XBM had said that, and it's true. It's true. It was half and half for me. Like, sometimes it was, like, a very, like, restful, like, satisfied, like, okay, I don't have anything left. It's like, this is cool. And other times it was, like, Yeah, it was. I had some tough nights after that for sure. Okay, 9.2. What'd you give it?
9.8.
All right, you guys, we're coming right back with another one. What's the next song?
Dance, Gavin, Dance with the We Own the Night. Oh!
Is that them again?
No, but
Is
this
it
is
the same?
We Own the Night.
Own the
which
Night.
is
Oh,
what
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Franco, what did you give it? Ben gave it a 9.5. There's a Franco Amy stream coming soon. So you guys watch out for that, because there's also some new Evanescence out. Apparently, I did not know, but there's some new Evanescence coming out. So that's coming. It's a 10 for Mike Franco. And then we have, what now? We Own the Night. Let's do a timestamp for the big homie Ben Bear. Let's go to 107.15. 107.15.
107.15. Okay. Dance, Gavin, Dance is the name of the band. We Own the Night is the name of the song. And our DJ says...
Yeah, this
nothing.
one. There's no intro for this
I
one?
don't see any intro.
Are you sure?
I mean, he plugs in his own cards, so...
It's true. Okay.
All right, I sent the lyrics to you.
I get you guys the timestamp for the greater good. It's for the people. I know, bro. I know.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
It took me a while. It took me a while to understand it,
Yeah,
but yeah.
Yeah, but Ben just kept going. He's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Here,
Here's the
timestamp
next
anyway.
timestamp, you idiot. Yeah. Shout out to Ben. Okay, here we go. Dance, Gavin, Dance by We Own the Night. Let's do it.
Forget my jealousy. You swallowed the demons on your own. There's nothing left for me. I keep thinking back to when you said we own the night. Stop that feeling, your feel gets remuted. Can't make a blue jet, that's what I used to say. Accidents happen, it's terrible acting. Bringing the back of your hair with my fingers. Separate is the way, though no second is the place. I'm just thinking through the day and the night is your God. Say you in battle, your boat is my battle. Your life is my business, your black on my wall.
name of this band? Is it Dance Gavin Dance? Is that the name of the
Dance
band?
Gavin Dance.
Okay, you seemed very struck by the lyrical content of this particular offering. So go
That's
ahead.
what you keep thinking. It wasn't.
Go ahead,
I mean,
young
so
lady.
that, yeah, but I really liked the way it was sung.
You always like when they do the male-female dynamics.
I love that. Yeah, I do.
I'm
it
looking
had a
at
sort
the
of
comment
punk sound
section
to it
for what's that?
It had a sort of punky sound to it. Like
Agree.
punk, yeah.
That girl can sing her ass off. Hey, Tony the Lone Rider. We got all the heavy hitters in this
OGs
bitch.
Here. Okay. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. So I liked that it had that sort of punk sound to it. And I do like the male-female thing. Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay. It says, "Forget my jealousy. You swallow the demons on your own. There's nothing left for me. I keep thinking back to when you said we own the night." Okay. First of all, I remember hearing you say that.
What?
And
we own the
we
night?
own the night, yeah. And I have certain memories about it, which I will not share here. But yeah, so that part kind of struck me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was a cool period for sure.
Okay, so go ahead and you can break down what you see. I mean, when it said "forget my jealousy," I mean, obviously everybody knows I have a bit of jealousy in my blood. So forget my jealousy, you swallow the demons on your own. That was like, yeah, a jealous person puts the other person through a lot. So that kind of made me think of that. You swallowed the demons on your own. But go ahead, you break down what you see, because really, honestly,
you keep telling me that this is the girl. The girl was dominant in this song. This is a girl song.
Yeah, I mean, say what you want, but I was more focused on the fun sound of the song, and I wasn't even necessarily like, some of the lyrics stood out to me, like when it said "I have the heart of a coward." Anytime people say something like that, I'm always like, wow, that from my
name is
vantage
Tillian.
point, if
Tillian is a clean singer.
If you come out and say "I have the heart of a coward," that makes you brave.
Yeah.
Because most people don't want to announce that. But "Here in my arms" is exactly where I want you. We own the night. So yeah, I the other part that stood out to me was when they were talking about.
Wait.
No, go ahead.
It's all male vocals. Everybody is saying that that it's all dudes in this band. I was certain that it was I was about to say, are they together? Hold on. Is that the picture? Send me the picture. You thought there was a dude singing the first part?
I did. To me, that didn't matter because the punk's. Ouch. The punk stuff is always.
Yeah, this is not a punk band. Allahu Akbar.
Sounds yeah.
Allahu Akbar. There are no women in this band. There are none. Holy smokes.
There you go.
That is insane. The band is in the photo, you morons. That's what
You said morons?
No, you know how Franco is, but you know how gentle Franco is with stuff. He's like, well, it's in there. For the uninitiated, this is what the band looks like. I'm assuming the dude with the horns on his head is the one with the clean soaring vocals, and then you got this guy in the back that looks like he's living the thug life with the chain and shit. This changes the dynamic of the song. I was about to say, like, wow, man, like these two are together in a band, like that shit is crazy. I completely projected me and you onto this song. Allahu Akbar.
Oh well, that's. I should have just said when you talked about.
Amy says, "Gay punk." What's next? Gay as in GHEY. Don't cancel me, YouTube.
Yeah. Ooh.
Fascists. You fascists.
So you forget my jealousy. You swallow the demons on your own. There's nothing left for me. I kept thinking back to what you said. We own the night. Okay, so
shout out to all the people on X Twitter. Appreciate y'all.
He's
the
talking
Twitterati, the XTNs, whoever you are. Thank you. Continue.
He says, "Stomp that feeling. Your puke is mutant." Okay, so first of all, any time I see something about puke, I usually just zone out for a second and come back. So I don't even know what we're talking about here. Can't think of who did this. While I grew stupid, say accidents happen. It's admirable acting. Flicking the back of your ear with my finger, separate it the way through. See, I don't know what's happening in this part.
Separate is the way, though. No second is the place, though. Just fake it through the day and the night is your God. See you in battle. Your boat is my paddle. Your life is my business. Your plaque on my wall.
Your boat is my paddle.
What are you getting from that?
Well, if usually your boat that's your means of getting around. And he's saying that's his paddle. So he's using her life or whoever he's talking about.
Or his. It's very possible.
Right.
Looking at that picture, he's using his life.
Either way.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's
I know, that quote.
a Seinfeld quote.
Uh-huh.
I think Trump's the president now, so we can do that now. I don't know.
Yeah, you can mock anybody now.
Yeah, so I don't know like how that works, but except for Trump, you can't mock him. They'll send your ass to. Okay, we continue.
Whether you're guilty or not.
Stomp that feeling your puke is a mutant. Can't think of who did this. Well, I grew stupid. Say accidents happen. It's admirable acting. Flicking the back of your ear with my finger. Separate is the way, though. No. Second is the place, though. It looks like he is in a relationship with a person, but it's a really toxic one because he's saying, you know, you're faking this stuff and separate is the way. He's basically saying we need to go our separate ways. But then he's saying, no, second is the place because he's saying either he puts her second place or she puts him second place. And so, like, he probably is saying they should leave each other, but they can't because they're in a bad relationship, but she puts him second or vice versa. It's probably the accusation she has against him because you're in a band and you're putting me second and all the rest of it. And the fact of the matter is, you are. A band itself is a relationship. I was telling, one of my kids because, your kids are growing up and they're getting into relationships, man. And as a parent, when your kids hit a certain age, you prepare them, you tell them, what the Bible says, you talk about your lessons, but at the end of the day, your job is not to micromanage everything they do. Mm-hmm. Your job as a parent is to, if your values are real, then they're going to apply those values whether or not you're around them. And the threat of, I'm going to disown you, I'm going to do this and that, blah, 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 if you don't do what I say in this relationship is crazy.
Yeah.
Because how do you build an adult who makes their own decisions? And so it's like, I'm having this conversation yesterday with one of them, and I'm like, there are very few businesses that encourage you to be in a relationship with a person that you're working with. I know of only two where that's almost a doctrine. But those are
there's a third one where they don't care. You can work for Google, YouTube.
yeah. Right, it's a doctor. Those are, and I would encourage you to be with the person because this it's not easy. But so I could see her saying, "You're putting me second here," to the music.
But he says, "Forget my jealousy. You swallowed the demons on your own."
Yeah, I think he's saying, you're blaming me. You're saying that my jealousy made you do X, Y, and Z. And he's saying you did that, or whatever you did, however you reacted to my jealous outburst or whatever, that's on you. You swallowed those demons on your own. I mean, this is a very, very toxic relationship. It sounds. There's a lot of blame. That's one of the things where it's like, I see that in myself, and those are things where you have to go and really dig into the root. But it got pretty ridiculous to the point where it's I was legit upset about a Fortnite game. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, what the fuck is going and so it's well, there's blame about this, and there's blame about this, and there's blame about this, and there's blame about that. It's I'm very happy I was introduced to some, people talk about Marcus Aurelius and things like that, or people talk about controlling what you control and not, but it's real. That's one of the easiest ways out of the blame game is to say, okay, what do you control? What do you not control? Right? And it's like, okay, if I was focusing even on something as silly as Fortnite, like, there's things I could have done differently in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, otherwise, I'd get a Vic every single time I played. You see what I'm saying? And so it's like, and then it's like rooted to all these other issues where it's like, well, wait a second, what could you have done different here? What could you have done different here? What could you have done different here? And it really starts to liberate you from the blame game. I think the blame game is I don't hear it a lot when people talk about things that could destroy relationships, like these kinds of relationships. You don't really hear it a lot, but you know, you kind of see it in when a child dies, and people always say like most relationships can't survive the death of a child. And I think part of the reason is that there's some blame game happening. Like if SIDS happens and it's like, did you change the diaper properly? You know, oh, was she sleeping on her back? Was she, you know? And so I think blame is one of the real big things that, you know, and the projection that comes with that is one of the big things that will really fuck up a relationship. And these guys look like this is one of the most hostile songs I've ever seen about a relationship, if it's about a relationship.
I think the other thing about blame also is if, like, who could say who started putting blame first? I mean, maybe I started putting blame on you first. Maybe you started putting blame on me first. I would probably say I put blame on you first. But then, like, the more you do it, the more you do it. And then the more that one person is putting blame on you, the more you're like, oh my gosh, well, I can't take all this blame, so I'm going to put blame on you. And so it's sort of this toxic back and forth situation that's not good for anybody involved. And it's yeah, so that's an interesting side of it as well.
Let your hair down, have one more round, drink it till you believe it.
Drink till you believe it.
Yeah, like...
So in other words, they're going to go start doing stuff together, but drink until you're ready to have one more round. Yeah.
See, I didn't look at it that way. I looked at the drink till you believe it as, I think this relationship is probably as good as dead. And the drink till you believe it is, believe somehow that we're going to make it. Because he says, sloppy kisses, dirty wishes, baby, this is living. Roller coaster up and down in random motion. That's not good. That's not good or healthy in a relationship. The roller coaster thing is no bueno. And so he's saying that, oh, come in closer, ditch your problems. Better days are coming. That's what I believe when he says drink till you believe it. It's like the better days are coming.
Yeah.
That's what I think that's meant to be ironic because I don't think better days are coming for this particular relationship. Get up off the wall.
That's a weird line.
What? Get up off the wall?
Get up off the wall. Come on, get down. Which is because usually it's get off the floor. He's saying get off the wall and come down.
Yeah, but he said earlier that she's a plaque on his wall. Your life is my business. Your plaque on my wall. So he's saying get off the wall. So the plaque is kind of like you accomplished something, right? And it's there for your own ego.
Yeah.
But you know, you forget that plaque is there until you have people come in and go, yeah, this plaque is there because of me. So it's like completely about your ego. You don't care about the plaque at all. Like you have no affinity, you have no affection for the plaque. The sole purpose of the plaque is to stoke your ego. You know what I'm saying? And I think like the whole trophy wife thing and things of that nature, like that becomes, I don't think that's an issue with us, but I think that because like it's impossible for us not to see each other because we're like on each other like 24/7. But I do think like if you go out, if you have somebody that's particularly beautiful but the relationship is dead, that I have heard dudes say, like I've seen like and perceived like, yo, this thing is over, but dude is like he's looking out on the field. Especially, you hear it with this manosphere stuff, like, all the girl has to offer is her beauty and all the rest of it. It's like, there's nothing else. And it's like, you hear these guys, you know, fresh and fit, whatever, and it's all about their status and their ego. The entire function of the woman is for the ego of the dude. You know what I'm saying? And so he's saying, your life is my business. You're a plaque on my wall. And so he's saying, get down, get off the wall.
Some people just stay in a relationship just because the value they think that the other person's looks bring to them?
Well, dudes operate, with different calculus, and I think that there's a big part of dudes where if you get that's why all these rich dudes, they all have beautiful women, or they go out of their way to beautify their woman. They put them through plastic surgery, all type of shit. And I think it's because like that status symbol confers a lot of capital with other dudes. Like if you have an incredibly beautiful woman, and she's all about you, that is a giant ego boost and status symbol to a lot of dudes. We're not around anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like we're completely, we're in our own little world. You know what I'm saying? So that's not an us thing that I know of anyway at the subliminal level. But like, that was especially in high school when we were kids, for sure. That was a big thing. Like, I went out with girls I had no affection for. I couldn't hold a conversation with them. You know how I get when I get in my moods and I want to start talking about shit and like the universe and shit. Like we have those conversations. We're just talking about, the apogeic stuff with the Ismaili theology, with the fucking first intellect and the eternal soul or whatever. And it's like, that doesn't make sense. And we're, we're having those conversations while we're looking at the kids with the bikes and shit. Like there are a lot of girls I went out with where it was like, I could never have such a conversation. And I knew it, but it was just like, you show up to a club with a bad bitch, all the dudes are like, okay, and and really this is ridiculous because now dudes want to test you because they want to embarrass you in front of your girl, So anyway, that's how I looked at. There's a lot of that like in my head, like, this shit is crazy,
Yeah. Yeah, you're the only person I was ever able to have those deep conversations with too. To be honest with you, I was beginning to think nobody could have deep conversations.
Yeah, when I first met you, that was a big thing.
I was like, that's it. That's been
That
gone.
was also a big part of your resentment. Like, you dudes are like, you're 2 inch. What did you say? You guys are 2 inches deep.
Probably.
You'd said they're like 500 miles long and 2 inches deep or whatever.
Probably. That sounds like so frustrating. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah, you were mega deep from Jump Street for sure. And the other thing about you was that was like my all-time favorite. Well, there's a lot of all-time favorite things about you, but your curiosity, which, was cool when we're talking about the Ismaili stuff, or when we had that talk, we were talking about Plato and Aristotle and shit, and Socrates. That was such a cool conversation. But you didn't know anything about it. But you asked so many, all the questions you asked were always like, this is my ego. But questions I would ask if I didn't know.
If you were a girl or if you were...
No, just in general, if I didn't know. So I'd be driving home since I was like, yo, that girl asked a question exactly the type of question I would ask, man. She's really, she's up there.
I liked it because anytime you ask somebody else other questions, like whenever I would ask those questions, and I went through Bible college, so if you asked a question, you could tell that you basically embarrassed the teacher and you shouldn't have asked the question. And so once you got to that point, you're like, you got to just take what they can give you and just leave it at that.
Take the L.
Yeah. So when I met you and you answered certain things in a certain way, I was like, And part of my possible miscalculation also with you, because I think it came across wrong at some points, but you seemed like you didn't really care like normal conventional things. Like I was thinking about that one thing that I had said, like, oh, he's not listening. Remember that whole thing? And it was like, yeah, you could look at that as like, really, why would anybody say about when he came down, he wasn't, remember?
Oh.
But at the same time, like, you were the only person that I thought didn't care about conventional, like, laws. So I was like, well, if I thought this, I could just say it to you. But at the same time, like, yeah, I mean.
Everybody has their limits, damn it.
Exactly.
What the hell?
I was like, so
Soraya be like, I thought we were down. I thought we was on some gang shit. What happened? You took it too far. Yeah, I don't believe that this couple's gonna make it, y'all. I think that it's over with. I think it's over with. What do you say, like, by the way, I hate our aging faces? Aren't you supposed to say, like...
Oh, no, he did?
Aren't you supposed to say, like, I want to grow old with you? Isn't that the thing? Like,
yeah,
that's like the final kaput, because, like, that train is not going in the opposite direction, my guy.
Nope, it's not.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, what like, you guys are done. You guys are...
Yeah, and then he talked about, like basically tranquilizing, I need poison, mitigate my pain. Feel my toes go golden up in flames. Give me false hope in my veins. Tranquilize and modify my brain. So it just sounded like, you know, like when you have to medicate me all night long. Yeah, I don't think that you want to be in a relationship where you have to be medicated or tranquilized all the time.
Well, I don't
poison, and you know, he talked about
I don't think he's talking
modify my
literally.
brain.
I don't think he's talking about literal medication when
No,
he
not.
says medicate me.
I was thinking like drugs or something. Just needing a lot of it to kind of keep things going.
No, I don't. I think to me, when he says medicate me all night long, he's talking about her and what she does for him and the effect she has on him.
Oh.
But again, like that can be positive, but when you think about the plaque thing with that, it's like her only function is to stoke his ego or make him feel good at night. Like she has no real function.
Yeah.
And then he hates her aging face. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't look at her progression in age as something like positive, like, yo, we're really doing it. Like I was listening to one of the pastors I used to listen to like 10, 15 years ago. And he's talking about like being 50 and being with his girl for 30 years. And I was like, holy shit, I remember when they were like, you know, 10, 15 years ago, they were 35 years old. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was a kid. I really looked up to them. But like, I was like, fuck, man. Like, and she came on the stage and I'm like, she looks different. She looks very, very, very different.
She's not doing any of that work.
No, she's not doing the work, and she's not doing the vitamin regimen or whatever. She ain't doing it, and I'm like, I mean, if I compare this picture, like, let's just look into the camera. Like, when I look at this picture with, you know, something 5-6 years ago, you look better now than 5-6 years ago. Because you were pregnant half the time. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
So like you never really had your body back. Like you're, I mean,
acceptable.
You know, so like for him to say that, I'm like, bruh, like you guys are over with. Just let it's over with. Like that's like the best thing, man. Is like when because you know, it's hard to feel like an adult sometimes, especially in the shit that we do. Mm-hmm. You know, because it's not a very adult job. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of people in our demo that are actually doing this. It's all like, you know, so it's like, it's hard to feel like an adult. So it's like, it's cool to be like, yeah, like we're growing, you know, we're growing, you know, we're getting to another stage. That's a big thing. It's like, we're getting to another stage. And I just got done. I remember, you know, when I went to my retreat, there was a couple that was like 60 years, not 60 years old, 60 years together. And I was like, what? You know?
Yeah.
And they were like, they were just, you know?
Did you ask them any questions?
Nah, I didn't have time. I didn't have time to ask them any questions. But
yeah. 60 years together. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but like, you're supposed to want that. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, I hate our aging faces. I'm like, okay, man. Like, fucking pack it in. It's over with.
Yeah.
So what? I really, really, really enjoyed the song for sure.
I did too.
I gotta give this one a 9.7. Song of the night for me so far.
Oh, that was the last line. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I run quickly out of here. By the way, I hate REGB. Allahu Akbar. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, I hate your celebration. Oh boy. Yeah, it's not a good sign. Not a good sign.
Yeah,
all
it's
right.
just like, be done with the relationship, bruh. It's over with. It's okay.
But I really liked the sound of the song. It was very much like something, you know, right up my alley. So I'm gonna give this one a 9.8.
That
some
dude,
high ratings today.
That dude can sing his ass off. I will say, like, he's got some soaring vocals. I hope that somebody else requests this band, because I don't think we've ever done this band before.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think anybody's done this band before. If you're in a relationship like this, especially if you're in a female, like, I hate to tell you, but you know, I've had a lot of bad phone calls in my life. But let me just give you the phone call. It's over with. If this is how the relationship is going, like, it's over with.
Sometimes, like,
get out while you have the chance.
Yeah, I'm on this forum or whatever with, you know, girls that want like advice or whatever from other girls, but they're usually like younger people. I mean, it's not like anybody posts their ages, but my assumption is everybody's from, judging by what they're asking, they're probably anywhere from 16 to
it's a very good
35
assumption.
But like a lot of times, like you can tell that they're very young, and they'll be like, you know, I'm with this guy, I'm crazy about him, but you know, he makes me feel so insecure, and like they're like going on and on in all this detail, and then they're like, you know, give me advice. Sometimes they'll post a picture, give me advice of what I can do to make myself more attractive. And I'm thinking to myself, girl, you haven't had any children yet. You haven't begun aging yet. If homeboy is making you feel this insecure in the relationship, and leave. Like, don't, like, go, maybe it's a her issue, and she has to go get herself, like, work through that so she can find her value and stuff, and it's not rooted in what, you know, all about him.
Well, I'm on my Aurelius. Like, nobody can make you feel insecure. You're already insecure.
Yeah.
Nobody can make you feel insecure. That's a you thing. But
yeah,
go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. You go get the help. Maybe he's still a guy that you can work something out with, because maybe it is just a you issue, or maybe he is really critical of her, and he's going after other women and stuff like that, and so like there's actual real reasons why she should be insecure about what's going on. In that case, get out of it, because I'm like, so you think you're gonna have all kinds of babies, get all stretched out, get like whatever, and
oh my God.
age, and like, oh, sometimes I'll get like really graphic like that. You're gonna go through all of that. You want to know that it's gonna be somebody that's gonna stand besides you, not like this guy saying, I hate our aging faces. Like, yikes. All right, speaking of aging faces, these are faces that are not aging because they are very young. This is the warning.
What did you give the song?
I already did, a 9.8.
All right, Mikey, what'd you give this song, bruh? What did you give this song? I think, yeah, I like this guy's vocal talent. I really, hint, guys, I really hope somebody wants more songs from this band.
Me too.
Because I'm going to go and Google this song for the live version. I just want to see if he can hit these notes in a live context.
Mm-hmm. All right.
XBM, you want to get all stretched out. Sorry. Yeah, that's going to be the quote. That's going to be the quote.
I mean, you know, there are variations of how people go back in order after. Some people don't go back in order, and some people, it really just kind of works out for them.
What do you mean go back in order?
Like, after you have the baby and then your body, like, goes back. I've seen some people where it doesn't go back. It's just, the stretching is beyond what you would think.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you're so hypocritical. You
no,
went
I'm
back.
saying that there are variations,
You had,
right?
like, what, 4 or 5 kids and went back.
Yeah, but it's not like that for everybody. And I saw one girl that had one baby, and it was... And she was still really young when she showed me her stomach. She's like, look at this. I was like...
Yeah, but don't you think that that's a matter of exercise? And
I think that's...
You were back in the gym, like, in week 2. You were doing the sauna stuff.
Yeah.
And believe me, sauna is a workout. Your heart...
Freaking, I couldn't even climb up the thing. Remember, you had to basically carry me up those stairs?
I was like, are you sure you want to be doing this? You were like, yes. Now I realize that... You're like, you are not going to the gym without me.
No, that's not what it was. I needed to get in there because you feel like your entire body hurts so badly. Like, you were giving me those full body rubs, and...
For a good hour.
I thought
no
it was 2
exaggeration.
hours. I thought it was 2 hours, but it was a long time. Very long rubs. And
it was a very, very difficult delivery.
Yeah, it was really bad. But those sauna times, it loosened up my joints, and it made me feel like I was healing faster. And I couldn't, like he said, I mean, I couldn't even, or like I said, I couldn't even walk up the steps to get to sit down in the sauna. So I knew that I was not going to be able to do anything. Basically, when they had my legs up, they twisted one of my legs, and I was trying to tell them, hey, my leg, my hip.
Oh my
but
God.
You can't talk when you're in that situation. Yeah. And like, I was literally had to drag my leg around. I had to go backwards when I was headed to the bathroom, like after delivery, and just drag my right leg. Like, I could not lift it. And then I had to go see somebody for a couple of weeks, and Vin had to do all these exercises on me. Although, you know what? I know that this is sick, but I would take that pain and that weirdness just to have all of that doting you did over me.
Oh my gosh, you're ridiculous.
I know. I agree. It's a sick.
Was I doting? Obsession. Was I doting on you other than the body rubs, or was it just the body rub?
Well, no, your eyes of compassion when you're seeing me in that situation, because there was that blanket situation right after the baby was born. Remember? Mm-hmm. And so there was like one way you were, but then like when I was dragging my leg, you were like, "Oh my God, come tonight." So anyway, yeah.
It's always a deciding factor to actually get serious with a woman. What is?
What's the deciding factor?
That's a very interesting question. I want to know. All right. While they're telling us what the deciding factor is for the getting with a woman,
we're gonna go on to the warning.
Yep.
And the warning. Let's see. The name of this song.
Let's do timestamp first. Ben, you're failing us, brother. Come on.
Is he gone?
No, he's not.
Okay, give me the timestamp.
It's just that sometimes we're not breaking it up with the commercial.
Yeah.
So Ben doesn't have the, so let's do 1:42:30.
1:42:30. The warning when I'm alone.
The warning when I'm alone.
Live at Pepsi Center, and that's it. That's all DJ Mike has to say.
Look at this.
Oh no, what is it?
Video description timestamp. I was brushing my teeth. He's like, I didn't fail you guys. I was brushing my teeth. Shout out to the Twitterati. Shout out to the X-Chins. We really appreciate y'all. Stay where you are. Maybe you can retweet it. That's the other thing about X. Like, what happens like when you retweet something on X? Like, do you re-X it? Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
You're Elon. You do what you want.
True story. Here we go.
Exit, folks.
Exit. But then it sounds like exit, like
Yeah.
All right, here we go. What's the name of the song, please?
When I'm alone, live at the Pepsi Center. The warning.
See,
DJ Mike Franco.
I am not sure if I got this downloaded correctly. Look. See?
Boo.
Did you see that flash?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Do you guys see that flash too?
Talk to the people.
Or is that? Please, you have to come up with another phrase. I hate when I hear that.
I'm talking to Mikey.
Okay. Yeah. Let me pull up. I'm pulling up the comment section here. Here I am. Dwayne,
Yeah,
I
Mike,
retweet all the time.
that one I think was listed as unlisted. So maybe the download will work if you make it public. You see what I'm saying? But go ahead, talk to the people.
Could be. We're gonna have to get another timestamp on that. Don't forget. And then we'll reread it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you guys, random ask me anything if you want. Dwayne is upset because he said he retweets all the time, and you never mention it, and so he finds that offensive. Okay.
Okay.
So acknowledge him, you racist. Myron Scott. I know my wife by our conversations. They were not surface level. We could talk about everything. She loves sports and music, and we talked about family. That's good. That's really good. Poor Vin suffers underneath my lack of interest in sports. Although, what he basically has to do if he wants to talk about sports is he has to tell me a story about them.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, oh, and then he can go, don't give me the stats about the person until you give me a story about the person. Suck me in by the story and then tell me their stats. Other than that, I'll be like, yeah, okay.
It's not ridiculous. I never talked to you about the person's stats. When have I ever said LeBron James
No, you'll be like, and so-and-so did a tush push, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, okay.
Yeah, it's not a stat.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. Maybe you don't get what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if you don't tell me the story about the person, they're just random names and what they accomplished going across the field, which I don't know or don't really care about because I'm not into sports. But if you tell me the story, then I'm interested in seeing what they had to do. Basically, I also want to know... what was that?
That's Dorian. Don't worry about it.
Okay, well, I don't want the same thing to happen to me where the subscription just snatches it away from me. Okay. Let's see. Myron said his wife is Japanese Polish. Oh, look, Joe Biden showed up. He says, hey, folks, who's a racist? I love black people. Oh, forehead. Yay! Yeah, everybody's talking about you, babe.
But
and how you flashed the entire crew here.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What are they saying?
You know when you put that video up, it went... Rude.
All right, here we go.
I don't know, Ben. As our kids would say, God made us this way.
Yeah. They're very like, what's wrong with you? Obviously, the answer is obvious.
Obviously.
All right, we're going to do the warning. We're going to do a different warning song. This one is called Consume.
Oh, no. Our library... Oh, I'm alone. Is gone?
What?
What, are we skipping to...
No,
okay,
no.
so we're going to flip the order.
We're going to flip the
Okay, so
order.
I'm still going to get to hear when I'm alone. Okay, good.
Mikey's going to fix the other one.
All right.
I did message you, though. I did message you about it. Okay, so Mikey's going to do the other one. We're going to do Consume, and then we're going to do the other warning
Perfect.
song. Here we go, guys. The
Perfect.
warning, Consume.
Keep Me Fed, the title, comes from the song Consume.
Find the lyric.
Oh my god, actually, we curse
The
on the
lyrics.
song. I was like, wait, I just want to say something. My mom was so disappointed.
She was so disappointed.
You have no
like,
idea.
My father was disappointed as well, but like
But he embraced it.
yeah,
Yeah, he was like, no,
he
it's a
accepted
phrase.
it. He was
Okay.
like, you know what?
They're
If
doing
you like take out the word, it's not as
Impactful.
strong. We're like, yes,
Exactly.
But my mom every day,
Very
she's trying to
disappointed.
change the lyric. Like, why don't you say greedy little sucker? Or like trucker. You can find something else. And I'm like, Mom, you will have to live with this. I am so
Yeah.
sorry.
Good.
But
Get
okay,
the lyrics?
consume is about participating in a cycle of overconsumption and complaining about the system and like this cycle that you live in, but you also feed it. Like you're also there doing the
So
same things that
intelligent.
you're complaining about. But we wrote the song in Canada. We were on tour with 3 Days Grace. Ale, you were sick. You had a fever. You had the
Oh.
stomach flu.
Oh, I felt like I was dying.
I remember
so
you knocked on
I
my
was out
hotel
there.
door. I was like, Danny, you want to ride with me?
Yeah.
And
I
there
could
was a
hear them.
hockey team
I could hear them scream
running
from the
through
other
through the halls and making so much noise. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm also gonna be making noise. I will be writing the song. So Danny and I sat with my little MIDI keyboard,
You were totally
which I was dragging around Canada for a whole month, and I was like, I need to use it. Like I'm gonna force myself to use it, and I used it that day. And we started writing Consume.
It has also like the weirdest solo I've ever
Yes.
played, but I love it.
Consume is a song that makes me dance, but makes me question, like, myself. Like, what am I doing? Like, oh my god.
It's like an
Like, this is-
existential dancing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, this is so
Existential
real,
dancing.
but I'm dancing. When we play it live, I have a feeling it's such a jumpable song. I hope that people
Jumpable. I just want to tell you, you see how intelligent these girls are? Like, it's not just like, oh, we're going to play 3 chords. I mean, okay, not a lot of chord variation, but it doesn't matter. Like, think about what they're saying. Like, they're talking real shit. And they're joking around like, oh, existential consumerism.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like funny, but it's like, no,
Yeah.
bro, like that's some real shit. And then like to like turn the mirror on yourself and go, what am I doing? I'm playing a part in it. Yeah, because like you're offering up your music to be consumed.
Mm-hmm.
We could
jump to it.
Thank you for the intro, Mike.
I wear my skin like the burden it is. Knowing regardless, I do it regardless. It's a machine, I'm the one running it. Go through the motions, consume all devotion. You greedy little fucker, you sink your teeth and leave me on for another. You're so solid, but you keep it undercover. Let's paint it apart and all along in a garden. You willingly participate. You crack a smile and close your eyes and disassociate. Living the problem, but you know you're still a part of it. You hate that you're part of it, hate that you're part of it. Watch me, touch me, move this train. I crack a smile and close my eyes and disassociate. Blaming the problem, but I know I'm still a part of it. I hate that I'm part of it, hate that I'm part of it. Watch me, touch me, pull the strings like you do. Love me, hate me, am I worth it to you? Shoulder it down, my throne, wash it down with remorse. Make me be perfect for you. Watch me, touch me, pull the strings like you do. Love me, hate me, am I worth it to you? Shoulder it down, my throne, wash it down with remorse. Make me be perfect for you. Make me be perfect for you. Make me be perfect for you.
Yo, that was Tina. No, not Tina. What the fuck?
That's the warning, you guys.
That was the warning.
For DJ Mike Franco.
Hey, we got
the
Kai
name
in
of
the house.
song-
We got Tina. We got all the Bible boogiers in this
yes.
bitch.
Beep, 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 beep.
Shout out to Tina Bonita. Shout out to Kai, my guy.
It rhymes.
Yes,
All
and he
right.
always sends us pictures of the sky. And they're pleasing to
lie.
the eye. All right, go ahead.
Sigh. All right. The warning. Boop. Consume. Yeah, okay, so we're talking about, well, you know, I think that this song, I couldn't listen to that greedy little fucker part without thinking about the mom.
Why couldn't you say greedy little trucker?
No, yeah,
it doesn't
or
work.
sucker. She said sucker too.
Greedy little sucker. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But the dad threw in with it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, Dad's always gonna.
so yeah, I think that we're talking about like what the consumerism aspect of it, and then how they're part of it. It's, you know, the machine, I'm the one running it. But I also think it works for like when you think about like the sin nature, and like if you think that you're not as sinful as other people, or other people are worse than you are, because there was like one part where she,
Yeah,
like
it's
the
about
martyr part.
Yeah, it's about participating in something that you're
That you
criticizing.
judge. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And realize when she says, where's the martyr part? Command F it. Sorry, Command F it. You know what? Okay, right there. Okay, she says, I couldn't die as the martyr. Now I've become the greedy little fucker. So I thought that part, yeah, in you know, it's one thing to die as a martyr. Like I guess for them to die as the martyr would have been. You think it's the selling out aspect of the consumerism? You know how people always talk about that.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
So because they wouldn't sell
that's-
out and they you know dug in and went into it, it's like, okay, now they're part of it. Sink my teeth in, bleed you out, look for another. Yeah, that's fascinating because they're probably been being treated like the audience is trying to suck them dry, which you hear that like with the strings. Thing. So they're being like, you know, you think of the marionette or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure if she's talking about the audience or if she's talking about the record industry.
Yeah, but
You know.
the record industry is being driven by the audiences, right?
I don't think so.
You don't think the record
I think
industry makes
sometimes
decisions based off what they think the audience wants?
I think sometimes it's vice versa. I think the record industry at times tells the audience what they want. And
No kidding.
It's almost like politics. Because you don't have that many options, you kind of go with it. Because think about it. Think about all the ages of music that we've experienced in our lifetime. And it's like, well, who told us that we like all this stuff? Like, for example, the Britney Spears boy band era.
Yeah.
Right? That
What?
was completely created by the record labels. These were not like organic I mean, God bless Britney Spears.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But
Radiallahu anha. But for real, like, you know, they're called industry plants sometimes is what they're called. You know what I'm saying? Like the industry creates a lot of the demand and then they have the supply. So I think, and I think there's certain genres where that's not true. There are certain genres where that's just not true. But by the way, shout out to Florida. We just won the Final Four.
Oh,
we won everything.
Speaking
so
of
that
one,
means that Revo,
shout out to Revo.
Congratulations.
He's our March Madness winner.
Yes,
so he
Mr.
gets to
Revo.
add another song to his birthday stream.
Yeah, that could have been predicted. I think we could have predicted that, but here you go. There you go. Congratulations, Revo. But yeah, I think she's talking about the record industry there. And it's very popular for bands to complain about the record industry. Freak on a Leash was about that. We actually listened to a song, I think it was yesterday, about the horse race song. I think it was Mesa.
Yep.
Oh, our memories are getting there. Wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Mesa, and she was, complaining about the record industry. And there is that song by Maynard, Hooker with a Penis. And it was he was talking about how the kid called him a sellout. And Maynard was like, yes, you moron. You're buying my music, so obviously I'm selling you something, right? Yeah, I am a sellout, yeah. And so it's like, or Metallica. Metallica said, yep, we're sellouts. We sell out every single... I say we sell out every single...
record.
Every single tour we go on or whatever. Every single tour we go on, we sell out, you little bitch. And so it's like, you've got all this, like, the purity of, like, oh, your art's supposed to be pure. And it's like, yeah, but you guys also want to be millionaires. So... you're gonna make the music. You're gonna compromise. We saw it also with the La Bamba movie, where it's like, hey, get rid of your band. He's like, I am not. I'm going to leave if you don't let my other band members come with me. And he's like, yeah, okay, for real.
We only want you.
We only want you. So he turned around and he's like, oh, by the way, we're gonna change your name. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, you get angry at things like that, but you're also participating in it. And then we get angry at like, oh, Britney Spears and all these people, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, yeah, but we're buying these records, though. Yeah. You're streaming it.
Come on.
You're Spotifying it. Like, you can't complain about the homogeneity of music when you're going along. I mean, these songs have like 1 billion views, bruh. It's the same, it's with me, right? Like, I'm Pan-African, pro-black, blah, 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 blah. But I fucking love drill music, man. I love it. I can't get enough of it. I love talking about killing shit. But, and so it's like, but I love my people. You know what I'm saying? I'm a lover of black people. I love my people. But I swear we love losing. So, yeah, like, I get it. And, fortunately or unfortunately, the record labels understand that aspect of human nature.
Yeah.
It's like, they're not going to like it. That's what Lear Cohen was saying, because Lear Cohen was a Jewish dude. He was getting confronted during the whole Kanye West situation when he said he was going to go DEFCON 3 on the Jews. And this is something that has always been an intramural conversation in hip-hop. Whether it was Ice Cube talking about it in No Vaseline or whatever, where we had this very tense relationship because as soon as hip-hop became a thing, that group of individuals jumped on and they wanted a giant slice of the pie, and they got to the point where they were so rich and powerful where by the mid-'80s and '90s, they were pumping out the worst possible music for black people. And so Lear Cohen was getting confronted about that, and he says, I gotta eat. I gotta feed my family. This guy's almost a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like, there's always been that discussion within the hip-hop community about that, but at the same time, at the end of the day, nobody is forcing you to buy those records. No, Lear Cohen is not forcing you to fucking put those songs on the radio. Nobody during the East Coast West Coast beef. I'm gonna lose a bunch of y'all. There was no Jewish person that forced us to play into that, which we did with Reckless Abandon. Nobody forces Source to put Puffy on there talking about he's gonna kill Suge Knight and Tupac's gonna wake up with angel wings and not understand what happened. Like, Leon Cohen had nothing to do with that. You see what I'm saying? But then he had everything to do with it. And so it's like, I get the song. There's a lot of applications to this song, and it's human nature. And unfortunately, really, really powerful people have figured that out about human nature. The very things that most of us are against, we also indulge. And that's one of the reasons why, you know, that latent hypocrisy in the human spirit, if you can find, you know, for me, like, violence has been a thing. Like, I was never really an in the club person. I don't like that song at all. I never understood why that song was popular. You can find me in the club, bottle full of bug. Like, what? I'm into having sex. I'm not into making love. Like, what? What are we doing here? What? You know?
Yeah.
But, like, look, auntie, straight in her eye. Whoever did this shit gonna die. Whoever did this, mama gonna cry. He slide, I slide, we slide. Ain't stop till one of us die. Ain't stopping till one of us die. I love that shit. I'm like, yes. Yes, this is what I believe in. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I never liked the in the club stuff. I never liked the shiny suit stuff. I never liked the, oh, we're all going to be dancing, you know. The only song I like that was the Jay-Z joint. You know, I thug on love and you know, I don't fucking take my love, keep me look good. First out there, first out there. Big Pimpin'. That was the only song like that I liked, ever. But it was like heavily misogynistic. Like, it was explicitly misogynistic at the time, and that's where I was at. And so, yeah. But yeah, all the other ones were like principially misogynistic. Oh, these girls are dancing naked. It's like, okay, like, you've seen one girl, you've seen them all. But like that song, like Big Pimpin', like he was like really like getting into it. I'm like, yeah, that's right. I don't love no bitch. That's right. So, and now I got daughters. You know? Yeah. And if my daughters were pulling in and past the gate and Big Pimpin' is playing in the car,
we're having a conversation.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's completely hypocritical, but I don't give a fuck. You know, so like I get what the girls are saying. Like, they're really on that shit. They're like I said, like some bands, it's like, yup, you got the scale, you can go into Dorian mode, all this other stuff, and like I respect the hell out of that. That's a form of art. But then there's also like this form of art too, where it's like very confrontational and very introspective at the same time, and it's giving you a beat that you can dance to, which kind of turns everything into meta.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, you're dancing to the song. You like it, do you?
Yeah, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes. Yep. I forgot what I was going to say because I was definitely in there with what you were saying. I don't remember. It's gone. It's literally gone.
Shout out to Shep. Biden's like, I love black people too, man. Go ahead.
I don't remember where I was going to go. The thought is literally lost. I had like so many thoughts in between the thoughts.
Why didn't you interrupt me?
No, I'm going to, because I'm going to tell you all about it later.
Oh. Okay. This means I'm in trouble.
No.
We
not
continue.
At all. I am.
Wait, God, Daniel. Okay, what did you give this song?
Oh, I know what I was going to say.
Oh.
Was the hypocritical nature of it when people are like, you're a sellout, blah, blah, blah. Because I feel like that there are so few people that would stand on principle and not take that opportunity given the chance. Like, I was listening to this short and, like, sometimes, like, I'm looking through different shorts, but I'm also doing something else. So I'm, like, flicking, I'll just listen. And the lady was like, would you take your wife's last name for $1 million? He said, take away. He said, I would take her last name. I would change everything. This is too small a thing. I would take everything for the $1 million. And then they like kept dropping the amount, and he was willing to he was like, anything. It doesn't matter.
$5.78.
It doesn't matter. I think they got down to $1,500, and he was still willing to change the name. Take the name
for $1,500.
Yeah, but I don't know which country he was from, so maybe
$1,500. Stand up to piss. What's wrong with you?
I don't think it was about like changing the name. I think he was just like, wait, but we could use the money. I mean, that's, you can't eat a name, but you can eat the, you know,
$1 million, okay, but $1,500, I wouldn't do that shit for $500,000.
Yeah, but what would $1,500 in certain places be if it was American money switched over? But anyway,
I don't care.
But my thing is like, you know, like people come into our comment section, they're like, "What? You charge for a song review?"
I remember that.
What in the world? Who does like you? Well, go to your boss and tell him you don't want to pay increase, you want to pay decrease.
I think with YouTube, though, I don't think people understand. I think they think that, oh, I could stand in front of a camera and talk for, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't understand, like...
I mean, it is true. There's no way in the world I would be able to do 30 to 45-minute reviews if you weren't a part of it. If you weren't a part of it, it would be I'd listen to the song, I'd talk, like, under 5 minutes, and I'd rate it. That would be it. But you're like, you pull stuff out of everywhere. You would think, I remember when we first started the channel, I was like, people are legit gonna think that he already researched the song before we started it. Because you always have something to say on everything because your mind just remembers so much of what you learn. And you're very curious all the time. Always learning. Anyway, so I'm going to give this song a solid 9. What are you giving it?
Yeah, I am. I'm going to give that one, I got to give that one a 9.4, though, for all the thought that went into it.
Yep, I can see that.
Like, you gotta,
I can see that.
You know?
Yeah.
So, that's the thing for me.
And shout out to their mother. You know? I would have given it a 9.2 if you had said sucker instead of...
I love both.
Kidding. I'm kidding.
I love both of their energies, the mom energy and the dad energy. The dad was like, "Man, fuck that, dude. Go ahead."
He's
girl,
like, "Well,
man."
it would be the same if you didn't use that word."
Yeah,
Couldn't you put sucker or
trucker?
Trucker.
You greedy little trucker.
You greedy.
Yeah, but see, greedy little trucker is actually worse. But their mom is so innocent, she doesn't understand. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got 3 girls talking about greedy little trucker. Like, that would go left, right? You see what I'm saying? So like,
could
remember
sucker.
that time we were taking our walk?
Yeah.
And...
Yes.
That's not a truck stop, my guy. What the fuck are you doing, bro? But, you know, I mean, hey. Okay, all right. Who
are you to judge?
Who of us has which of us has not whatever
partook in a little side street necking, as they call it. That's an old-fashioned word.
That was not that. That was not that.
Yeah, I know. But, let's try to keep it modest here. All right, you guys. The warning is up next. Did we get something from our DJ?
Yeah, I think we're still gonna do. We're gonna do an Ask Me Anything. Really, guys, it's an Ask Me Anything.
Ask him.
Mikey's gonna hit me as soon as the upload works.
Oh, okay.
Ask us anything, dear listener.
Yeah.
Nothing is off limits.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Talk to Vincent. Oh, we did 6 songs tonight. Okay, good. Here you go.
It's a 6-song stream, so we got one more left.
Ben, you're gonna be so happy. I'm about ready to update this with the timestamps thus far.
Yeah. The other thing is, what do you call it? I'm very glad that we didn't get blocked on YouTube. I was certainly going to get blocked because that looked like an official lyric video to me.
Oh, well.
You know?
Look, I'm just going to say that thing literally said in the title, no ads. It's been almost nonstop ads. We have our TV is like right there. And right now we have like it looks like this top floor, actually super cool looking apartment that overlooks a city. There's like shooting stars, a moon, a fireplace, a couch with a really creepy cat on the couch because the cat looks like it's just like asleep the whole time. And then all of a sudden it like puts his face off. But anyway, it's a cool little scene.
I am waiting.
But
every time we say Ask Me Anything,
nonstop.
the Ask Me Anythings really don't come in.
Yeah, it's always kind of, nobody knows what, they're like, we've learned everything we need to know about you guys. Get on with the music. Yeah. That's what you think. There's so much more. There's so much more you could have if you would only ask.
That's right. Ask, you weirdos. Maybe they're like, who gives a fuck about, why are you guys so narcissistic as to think that we want to even ask you anything?
That's why they said, get on with the music. Get on with the music. Oh boy. Yeah, this stream was literally like super last minute.
When is 1440p returning?
the heck is that? Oh.
To the Vin and Sori channel.
Yeah, what happened to that?
It will return soon. It will return soon. Outside of faith time, family time, and music time, what are your favorite hobbies? My favorite hobbies are listening to a lot of science.
You know what we should do?
Science
you should
is
say
a
what
big
mine is, and I should say what yours is, and then we'll answer.
I already said it.
That's not the only thing for you.
We're currently listening to a book about the election.
Vin likes to learn all the time. He's always listening to something. It doesn't matter when it is. It's very rare that I don't see him with his phone either debating Grok or debating ChatGPT, which honestly I think is super cute. And it's actually, can we announce that? Okay. Okay, and then he also likes to game, and he'll play Madden, and he also likes to play Fortnite. But when he plays Madden, he's really funny about it because there's like a couple of modes. One of them is if he's losing, but the person is like a worthy opponent, he'll be like, okay, all right, and you'll like say something positive to the person after, like even if you lose, and he'll be like, this person is really good, like he'll like kind of talk up the person. But if the person does something that's like some, you know, cheat mode, like sometimes people will like they sit on a button.
Once they start getting fucked up, once I start really hitting them with the, you know, that there's a way to freeze the game in the pause section, and like you will sit there literally for hours if
Thank
you don't
goodness
find
we had AI though.
Sadakta. So you'll sit there for hours, and so what'll happen is you will think that it's glitched on both sides, and then you'll just quit. And so that way they don't have to take the loss. So people do shit like that.
Mm-hmm. But no. Once Vin sees something like that, then he just goes.
Oh yeah,
he switches into another mode.
We went crazy on that dude.
Yeah, sending
I went crazy on that
troll
boy.
pictures, like all kinds of stuff. He also likes to burn stuff. Like I have this tiny little I honestly think
pot.
that was like a little perfect little gift I got for you.
That was one of the top 10.
It's a little tiny cast iron Dutch oven. It's like friggin' adorable. Has the little cap and everything. And it looks like a big Dutch oven just shrunk down, which for me is like anything that should be big but is like made tiny. I could lose my mind. I think it's so friggin' cute. Anyway, so he'll put like herbs, and we literally still have our Christmas tree like tied up in our bathroom, and he takes pieces of that off, and then he adds like different little essential oils and stuff to it and burns it. And that's another little hobby thing that he likes to do. Mm-hmm. He also is very much into drinking this powerful, potent... Oh, I got a juicer, which makes the drink even better, and it's so fun to use the juicer. That other way I was making it was like so much work. I was doing it for you. Every night I was doing it for you, but it was a ton of work.
You're getting strong, though.
My hands were killing me from squeezing this thing, and even as much as I squeezed the thing to get all the juice out, it just wasn't. This juicer, boop, it's like literally like a toy for me.
Everybody in the house got sick except for me.
It's true. Valid. But today when I made it, I put all the citrus, the apples, all that stuff, and then I threw in a carrot the last time, and he didn't notice. So I was like, excellent. That's another...
The carrot was great. I loved... Did you put a carrot in this time?
I did, but I also put in a celery stick.
Disgusting.
And that was too far. I took it too far! Okay, what's my hobbies, Vin?
See, I don't like this.
Why?
The reason is we've had this conversation where you're like...
I'll say my hobbies.
Where you're like, I don't know what I like.
Oh, but I've been saying things that I like. But I'll tell you guys, I love to go out in the sun. I love to sit outside.
Yeah. She likes to sit on the swing.
Yes.
Outside.
Yes.
She likes doing that. She loves to take walks.
Love it.
She likes to circumnavigate our complex. Yes.
Yes. I also like to... I need to sit out. So it's sort of like a hobby, but also like a deep soul need. I have to spend time outside in silence. I don't want to hear anything. I'm okay with hearing the kids playing. That's okay. But I do even need time to just like nothing but the water and the birds and like just, I don't know. It's like a real spiritual time for me. And it gives me a good time to like think about stuff. I can't think about stuff if I'm like cooking or cleaning, and there's always like a bunch of interruptions. Like even if I say like right before I was working, I'm like, guys, I have to work. No, I can't do this. And one of the kids is like, but would you like to change the baby's diaper before you go? I was like, I literally just said I'm late for work. Like people have no respect for my time.
Well, you don't have a lot of respect for your time because there's a way to solve that problem and you never solve it the way you
I know,
meant
but the
to
thing
solve
is, like, I love taking care of them. So, like, I understand, you know. And then when Seneca will be like, no, I want mommy change me. Then I'm like, oh, well. Anyway.
Yeah.
I love laughing with Vin. Like, the other night, I'm not going to say what we were laughing about, but something.
Was it the book?
It was a particular haircut.
Oh no. It was Johan's haircut. We've got a son. I don't know what happened to those pictures, but
I have it, but I'm not sending it to you, babe.
Yeah, she ain't gonna send. But if it was my phone, I would show you guys. I would have you guys take part in the festivity. Because
anyway, he went out and had his hair cut by
a white Italian lady in her 50s with eyeglasses. Okay, no disrespect. As I said, I'm married to a white woman. But it's a rule in the hood. You almost never let a female do your hair, but especially that demographic. He got his hair cut.
Age.
He got his
glasses even.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you guys exactly where we live, okay? But there's a certain event that happens every year over here. And, like, literally...
White people come to it.
Literally the president showed up, like, recently to this thing. And it's just nothing but white folks, okay? It's in the South. It's just nothing but white folks. So he's like, oh, it's right by where I work. You know, so he can look at this historical thing, but, you know, he doesn't understand. Anyway, long story short, it was not his kind of barber, and his haircut was horrible.
But he told them to just take 50% of the top of his hair off. But honest to goodness, they took like 80%.
And the lines are like this.
I don't even know what's happening.
It was like a modern art thing. She's like, I'm just going to go with how I feel on this nigga's hairline.
Yep.
It's just like, we're just going to feel the vibes on this dude's hairline, bruh.
It was just...
Who cares about his dignity and self-respect?
And like...
And the real reason for the haircut is that he's got...
You're saying a lot, babe.
I truly don't care. These are our people. They've been with us for years. I mean, half Johan's life almost. Look, y'all. Okay. As I said, our kids are getting older. Okay?
Right.
And they're out in the world. And, you know.
There's a young lady that has caught his eye.
He's caught her eye. She was the one that introduced the book. She was the one that introduced her parents. They're talking about him when he's not there. Okay? And to be honest with you, I was talking about, like, the whole, like, trophy girlfriend wife thing. I mean, the girl's no Sori, but she's, you know. So he's trying to, like, you know, Rico Suave, and this woman just completely fucked him up. She sent him back like he's like, 3 months, I'll be... He said, I'll be back in the game in 3 months.
I told him, I said, you know, I could give you a trim on the sides. And when I said that, he thought that I was saying I could cut off his sideburns. He was like, no, you can't touch my sideburns. I said, I didn't say anything about your sideburns. I don't think you should get rid of your sideburns. What? He came back, I'm not joking you, they're cut all the way up to here on both sides, and they're completely gone.
And they're not even that.
And they're not even.
And even that is not
it's
even.
terrible. The whole thing is just a disaster.
Why not have a community game night? I
think that's something.
I think we could do a community game night. I think we could do a community Fortnite I don't know about Madden, but I like Fortnite because you can play like together.
Boy, why was I thinking something like play Monopoly, and then you have like a certain amount of players, and everybody could be like watching in, and you have to move the pieces.
How do we play Monopoly
no,
online?
like let's say you set up the Monopoly board, and so they can see you, they can see the Monopoly board. So on our side screen, you would see the Monopoly board, and you would see us, and then we're playing with however many. Let's say there's 6 people
Do
that
you
play.
set the camera on the Monopoly board?
Yeah, so the Monopoly board is going to be in the corner of our screen, like where we usually have or like we flip it. Yeah, the Monopoly board is taking up the majority of the screen and we're in the middle. And then you have a certain tier on Patreon where it's the contestants that are going to play with you. So they have a Monopoly board at their house also. And so we roll our dice and it says, okay, we're going to spot whatever. And so they move our piece. And so we play with 6 other people. And we keep track of everybody's pieces on our board. They tell us what their role was.
It's a lot of moving parts.
Ooh, but I think it would be fun. But that's what I thought you were saying. But maybe she was talking about Fortnite.
She's saying like Jackbox games.
Yeah, you're probably What is Jackbox? What is that?
I don't know what a Jackbox game is, but
like
I'm assuming Amy will know. But is that something like community-wise we could do all together? That would be insane.
Yeah, Revo is saying we could get an online Monopoly game.
Gartic phone is hilarious. Okay, so Amy, work on that, and we're gonna see. I'll make a post. I'll make a game night post, and if we get 50 likes on it, then we'll do it. We'll all just do a game night. We'll have some shit in the background, and we'll just play a game night.
So no Patreon tier, just do a game night.
Well, I just want to see how much interest there is. You see what I'm saying? And then if it goes good, then yeah, of course, because we got to give the patron something. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. Okay, guys, guess what? We got 18 people can play at a time.
Yeah, Vin.
What? 18 people can play at a time.
I just think it's funny because, like, you're, like, uber generous with stuff, and I'm always like, yeah, but what about the patrons? What about the I feel like that's the conversation always.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's
nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, you got to do the little teaser thing. Like, if we put the post up there and there's like 5 people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's why I say, like, if it gets 50 likes, then we'll know that people are really interested in it. But knowing Amy, she'll probably get 500 likes. She'll probably find some way to, massage some shit. You know how Amy gets
I know. She got all those. Wasn't there something with Amy Lee that she had everybody?
Yeah. She's like, 50 likes.
I can buy 500 for $2.
Yeah. All right. We have our song.
Okay.
Thank you very much to DJ Mike Franco for your paciencia. I did see the Garden of Eden question. I deliberately skipped it because it would take me 4 hours to answer it. But I will be jumping on again very, very soon. So XBM or Kai, I think it's XBM. XBM, I think it is. Who asked me the Garden of Eden question. I did see it. I want you to know I saw it, but the show must go on. Okay. Let's do it. When I'm alone. So let us do.
Yep.
Timestamp is 2:25:25. 2:25:25.
Okay, so this is the warning again, and the name of the song is When I'm Alone. This is live
at the Pepsi Center.
We still have the live version. Okay, live at the Pepsi Center, and DJ Franco didn't have anything to say, but he did give the lyrics. Love it, love it, love it when the lyrics are here. It just really reduces
work.
And some of the scrambling that happens on my side.
Where's the glycinate?
Oh no.
I need the glycinate.
It's right there.
Adonde? Hold on, guys. I'm gonna get my. I've got. It's okay.
Go very close so
take your finance out of the. Judge. Oh yeah. Please go close. What the fuck? It's one of those. Don't wear those pants to church.
Do you remember the conversation we had about these?
Yeah. Wait. When? Quando?
Oh,
when?
within the last 4 months.
No, I don't.
I'll remind you offline.
Okay. All right, we gotta do a new timestamp.
All right. Oh my word, so funny.
We need Z acetate. What is Z acetate? Hey, Jet, good to see you, baby. Good to see you.
Hello. So what's our timestamp?
Let's go with 2:26.
I'll help you with this.
Just do. Let's just do 2:27, and then let's.
These are two. You just push them away from each other.
Let's just reintroduce.
Yeah,
Let's just
I'm gonna
reintroduce
absolutely
it at
do that.
2:27.
As soon as you take your vitamins.
It's 2:27.
You guys, L-theanine.
2:27.
Oh, you
It's
ready?
time to announce the. Okay, so the timestamp now is going to be 2:27.
Oh yeah, but I was just waiting. I was waiting for you to finish your vitamins. I said, all right, 2:27:50. The warning when I'm alone, live at the Pepsi Center. Let's go. Oh, you should take your vitamins first.
All right, here we go, guys. Let's do it.
Full of color on the outside, but I only see in black and white. I'm desperate for some light in the corners of my mind. Having hope but not enough, reaching out to find no one. Am I the only soul to have lost all control? It gets hard to breathe, stuck in between on what has become my fake reality. And there's no escape from the voice in my head. It's driving me crazy. Nobody understands. My sanity's not going to last, and I'll smile on through the night. Everyone will think I'm alright, but nobody knows what I'm dragging along when I'm alone. When I'm alone. And I'm about to tear off this page, but it's something I can erase. I wish I could rewrite the story of my life, while I hide every day behind the mask. There's pain. They say I'm not alone, but do they even know? It gets hard to breathe, stuck in between on what has become my fake reality. And there's no escape from the voice in my head. It's driving me crazy. Nobody understands. My sanity's not going to last, and I'll smile on through the night. Everyone will think I'm alright, but nobody knows what I'm dragging along when I'm Ciudad de México, canten conmigo. Nobody understands. Un poquito más
Well,
Damn.
her eyes when she was singing it, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Especially when she said "hole in my soul." Looked a little crazy.
Yeah.
Looked a little crazy, shorty.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I didn't catch that part.
Yeah.
Oh, my eyes were closed.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So what's going on there? Send me the you sent me the lyrics already?
I believe I did. Yeah. Just I sometimes like the way that they write is just it's very relatable, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that I think is part of it is, so they're young. They're like, you know, closer to the age of our daughters than they are to my age. And, like, you see your teenagers having hard days, and you remember when you were a teenager having a hard day.
Yo.
And, like, you know, and then the reality that whatever their hard day is now is probably nothing comparison to what the hard days are up ahead. And so you're trying to, like, prepare them, like, not try to save them from every hard day, but give them, you know, hope in it, and try to, it's an interesting balance as a parent. And then, you know, you pray for them and you listen to them, but, like, the reality of they're gonna have their dark nights of the soul, just like everybody else does. And so, you know, trying to give them now what they can hold on to then. And I try to do it with my boys as well, because there was a time where I thought that Dark Nights of the Soul were a little bit more gender related than, you know, than they are. Like, I think everybody experiences it, and everybody experiences it for the depth that it is for them. And so when she starts out with full of color on the outside, but I only see in black and white, I'm desperate for some light in the corners of my eyes. Having hope, but not enough. Reaching out to find no one. Am I the only soul to have lost all control? It gets hard to breathe, stuck in between on what has become my fake reality. And there's no escape from the voice in my head. It's driving me crazy. And then she goes on to saying, like, nobody understands. My sanity's not going to last. And I smile through the night. Everyone will think I'm all right. But nobody knows that I'm dragging along when I'm alone. And this, like, for, like, this understanding that all of us seem to get pushed to that brink in our own way. Like, I'm not comparing one person's struggle over another, especially because, you know, like, being married to Vin, like, he's gone through a lot of losses that I simply have not. So I'm always experiencing his losses as like the backdrop of his losses. And so I experience the pain of his losses in my way, and he experiences the pain of his losses in his way, like front row seats. And it's like, and then, you know, you have your own battles. And I think all of us, and part of the reason why we're all on this channel together is because, as you've said before, like, our pain sort of brings us together through the music, through the experiences, and through, like, the raw, like, sharing of our hearts with each other and the realities of what we're going through. I had dark nights of the soul where my only escape was a thought of ending my own life, and those were the most horrible ones. And I've had dark nights of the soul where my way of escape was not so much of an escape, but it was a hope and a belief that God was going to meet me in whatever way he was going to meet me, and however that was going to be. And I would say even on those dark nights where, like, ending my own life seemed like the only answer, or the only way, like, he showed up for me. And it's not always like in this loud and, like, miraculous, unbelievable way. Sometimes it's just a steady, like, just holding you in a sort of pause position so you don't do something or whatever. But then I found Psalm 139, and I say found it. I had heard Psalm 139 for all of my life, like, ever since I was little. But the words change, you know, like, it's like when you hear, there's certain experiences in life that when you hear about them, you can be, like, you know, sympathetic about it, or you can be happy about it or whatever, but you don't really know what it's like until you experience it. And those can be for, like, the really highs and the really lows, all that stuff. Like, you see somebody getting married, but you don't know what that's like until you get married. Or you see somebody, like, when they hold the baby for the first time, but you don't know what that's like. Like, you see it, but when you experience it yourself, it's a whole nother world. And so Psalm 139 was one of those things where it was like in this really, really, really dark place. I talked about it before where I felt like there was like a black hole and I was being sucked into it. And I like had this fear that I was going to be stuck in this like never ending black hole that was like expanded beyond anything that I'd ever seen before and endless. But at the same time, it was entrapment, because normally I'm like, if I have space, I don't feel trapped. But if I'm like in an elevator, I would feel trapped. I've kind of grown more past that. I don't feel that anymore. But that was through pushing myself, really. When I was in college, I used to ride the elevator just to try to get myself past the fear of being in a small area. But there was lots of experience that pushed beyond that. But that Psalm 139 showed up like again in my life, as in I experienced it. And like some of the words that's in it, like I would encourage you to read it, especially if you're in a really hard, dark place, like read it. And he says like, even if I make my bed in hell, even there, you'll find me, basically. And like that concept, like I sat there because sometimes like we create our own hell. And so, if you're responsible for the reason you're in this dark place, then it's like, well, how can you feel so bad for yourself or whatever? Like you put yourself here. But at the same time, there's this, okay, right, you're in that dark place, but there's a God that will go into hell. I mean, he left heaven and came to earth, so he could die on a cross to bring us closer to the Father. So for me, like when she's talking about this, like it was super relatable. And the whole like question, am I the only soul to have lost all control? Like there's only a certain amount of control that you can hold on to within yourself. And then you're like, there's something supernatural, something eternal, something beyond me that I'm going to need to hold me together. Otherwise I will break apart. And, but I really think that one of the things that we think is that we're the only person that's gone through this or experienced this. When we're all experiencing something in our own way, and our situations might be different, but they're all meant for the same purpose. And, so I'm like, you experience something differently when you're looking at it through like a different lens. Like, okay, it doesn't matter. Like if I get into the darkest place, like I want him to find me. And I knew I wanted God to find me in that place. But it was crazy because I actually had written in my journal, don't meet me where I am, take me to where you are. So I was trying to tell God, like, don't meet me in this darkness. I don't even want you to come here. But instead, I was saying, like, just lift me out of it. But it was like this never wanting to actually, like, be in that place and acknowledge where I was and be like, okay, God, like, this is me. This is who I am. And just meet me here. And, like, why God would meet anyone in those darkest places is crazy. But that that's the whole beauty of it, I guess, and the hope of it. But, like when she was singing and like the way her eyes looked and stuff, it was just, I don't know, it was so relatable and also really sad because you don't want somebody so young to like have those feelings like that intensely. But, I assume like being in the life that they are, it probably fast tracks some of the struggles in life. It kind of pushes you to that point. But then we all have those moments when we're alone. And I used to have this teacher that used to say, there's some people that can never sit in silence because the college that I was a part of, like they had forced fasts where they were like, okay, nobody's gonna eat, you have to pray during this amount of time. I never liked those things. And they also did a forced like sound fast, basically. So no music. You could have an instrument, if you could play it yourself. But no, like, I don't think that there was like electric guitars or anything like that. But you could have an acoustic and whatnot. But he would say that there are some people that can never sit because there's so much going on in their own soul that they can't sit in silence, because when they do, the noise just is too much. So they keep the TV on, keep action, keep movement, because they never want to take that moment to actually face their own soul and begin to deal with whatever is there. And so when she's talking about this being alone thing, it reminded me of that, like those moments when they're even if you try to distract yourself, you cannot distract yourself anymore because there's something pressing inside of you, and that is meant to push us beyond the limits of ourself and then bring us to a place where we're like, okay, I need something. There has to be some higher power that's gonna have to help me with this because this is beyond me. So I loved the song. You know, I love the emotion that she put into it. And I don't know what she was saying in the end, but I felt like she was telling the crowd, like, you know, you guys are some of my reason. You guys are like brothers and sisters. I don't know. But,
yeah, she said you feel alone. I put it up there because Esteban gave us a translation. But it was basically, we all feel alone. I wrote this in a moment of despair. But, you have me, you have my sisters, you have the team, you have our music, and then in that we can find fellowship together, etc.
yeah.
And, you know, that wasn't enough for Kurt Cobain. Like, I do think that music is therapeutic. And I do hear what you're saying. Like, all of us have been through these things together. But nobody has lost my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have lost a brother. I know people here, like, for a fact, that lost people in very similar ways that I lost people. But I did not lose their person.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have the memories with their person.
Yeah.
And they're the only ones that had memories with their person. Like, I've got another brother, but I'm the only one that had those memories with that person who's now gone. So, like, that was a very helpful thing. I never forgot that when Piper said that. That was almost like damn near 15 years ago, where he said, when he talking about God knows you, and he says, nobody's been through what you've been through as you. And that was just so helpful, because it's like, yeah, like, everybody has gone through similar things, and if you live long enough, you're going to take losses, period. But nobody has taken a loss like you as you, with all your different, you know, proclivities and experiences and backgrounds and contexts and things like that. And so it's like, I wondered myself, like, especially now, considering where I'm at, I'm like, what the, like, why would you create that kind of a system? And I think, you know, when Solomon was dedicating the temple, he said something really interesting. He said, whatever prayer, whatever plea is in the heart of each man, each knowing the sorrow of his own heart. And I thought that was so interesting, because on the one hand, the temple is like this big community thing when everybody's there. Because Solomon was like, let the nations come, and let them come to the temple. And then whatever prayer, whatever plea, each man knowing the sorrow in his own heart, or the troubles in his own heart. And Solomon said, then answer from heaven so that they'll know that you're the true God. So it's like, you got this picture of all these people in the temple together, but then at the same time, it's like this very solitary thing, each man knowing the sorrow of his own heart. It's like, okay, now I understand. Like, at one level, everybody's been through the same things, and then we have gatherings like this and things like that. But then there's another level to where God's like, that's mine. Period, full stop. There's no music, there's no concert, there's no nothing. And we talked about the emptiness of a concert. Like, she's saying all this stuff, and I believe her, and I believe that she believes that, like, all the music is going to heal us. But there's going to be that last note.
Yeah.
And she's going to go through that same ritual that all the other big rock stars go through, which is your entire day was about these 2.5 hours, and then everything is empty again. I promise you that's not the only I Feel Empty song she's going to write. And all those people in the crowd, like, oh my God, the warning is coming back to Mexico. It's like, yeah, bro, but I promise you, you're going to have that post-concert crash that all of us know about in the community. So it's I think it's God saying that part of your being, I'm reserving for me. The alone part, the part of you that nobody knows my pain because I am me. That part is the only part where I truly believe only God can do that. And I'm not in a very good place in any way, shape, or form. I'm just tracking off of what you're saying by osmosis, but I'm not in a very good spiritual place. So don't take that as like, oh wow, this dude's really spiritual.
Can you put that
I'm
image
not.
up on the screen while we're talking?
Yeah.
I put a whole image, so you should be able to just pull it.
Yeah, talk to the people.
So, yeah, I'm actually going to put Psalm 139 up on the screen for you guys, because I feel like it's, you know, it's kind of how I started, but then you went, it kind of pulls that in as well, because it's that whole, nobody knows but God himself. Nobody knows the pain that I've been through, or you've been through, or any of us have been through. And like, you know, one person said in the stream, like, going through all of our pain together, alone but together, or something.
Yeah.
And I think that, yeah, there is sort of some of that, but there's an alone, like, the Bible talks about, like, when there's darkness inside of you, that how deep is that darkness. And like, I felt like that, like when I was at the darkest place of my own soul, and there's, you know, you can blame other people, you can blame yourself, but like when you're in it, you're like in it. And I don't know, there's like, I don't know. So anyway, this chapter was just really good for me, and I'm just going to read it to you guys. There's different translations out there, but hopefully this one works for you guys. They're all saying the same thing. They just say it in different ways. It's different, like, types of poetry, I guess you could say. God, you know me. You see me when I sit down and when I get up. Even from far away, you know what I'm thinking. Before a word leaves my lips, you already know what I'm going to say. You are behind me, in front of me, and you've got your hand on me, steadying me. This kind of closeness is too wonderful for me, too much to take in. Where could I go away from you? If I climb the highest heaven, you're there. If I sink to the lowest place, you're there too. If I run to the edge of the world, even there your hand would grab hold of me. Even if I try to hide in the dark, you see me. To you, night shines like day. Darkness and light are the same to you. You made me. You shaped every part of me, body, mind, soul. While I was still hidden inside my mother, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your craftsmanship is breathtaking. You knew me before I took my first breath. Every day of my life was written in your book before I even lived one. God, your thoughts about me are endless. If I tried to count them, they'd outnumber the grains of the sand. And when I wake up, you are still with me. Search me, God. Know my heart. Test me. Know my anxious thoughts. Point out anything in me that pulls me away from you, and lead me in the way that brings life forever, or the way everlasting. And so that whole thing, like, I just feel like it encapsulates that entire thing, because whether or not you make your bed in hell, or you go over here, or you go over there, or you said the worst possible thing, or you did the worst possible thing, like, God knew. Like, whenever I would hit those parts, I would think, because it says also in the Bible that he loved us before we loved him. And so that means if God knew everything that you were going to say, and all of your deeds were written in the book, and he loved you before you loved him, then it doesn't matter what goes on in the rest of your life or what has happened. Like, he knew it all, and he's not afraid of that. Like, he's the almighty God. And so he's willing to go there, but it's like, are you willing to look to him, or are you so bent on the poetry of your depth of darkness that you cannot see the beauty of the light? So
yeah, it's true, especially with artistically gifted people.
Yes.
There is something seductive and romantic
100%.
about triste.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how you say sad in Espanol. Mm-hmm. And it's even that sounds beautiful, triste. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, that is true. That's very true. What do you give the song?
Oh boy. I'm actually bumping this one to a 10, because it's so relatable, so like deep in its way, and so raw also. That's one thing that I keep finding about these girls, is that they're not afraid to like talk about these subjects and just put it out there.
Real rap.
Real
rap.
Yeah. So respect, you know? So I'm gonna give it a 10. Sonically, it would have been like definitely high 9s, but I'm bumping it to a 10 because I just really respect it. And the topic itself has been, you know, something that I've been grappling with, and not just looking at through the lens of my own life or my own suffering, but obviously like seeing you go through everything that you've been is just been one long and incredible journey in in many facets of the word, incredible. And so, it just really makes me think, like, you just don't know what anybody's really going through. Because I see you, you know, like, you go out there for our kids, you know, you work and everything, but I know that it's hard. It's been hard. It's still hard. And, you know, there's still hard days ahead. And, you know, like, when I look at the struggles that I've been through, I'm like, this has been hard for me, X, Y, and Z thing. But then I look at yours and I'm like, oh boy, but if that's really like, you know, but then you think, okay, everybody's going through different things here. You know, Amy's had it right. We all had it. Everybody's been going through different stuff. And so I just, I respect the honesty of the song that she's singing, and the fact that when she was singing it, she was feeling it. And you could just see it just coming out her eyes. And I just pray for you. Yeah.
This is a special version of the song for that concert. The original is with all the girls playing with her.
Well, this special version she was alone.
Yeah.
So I just felt like it was fitting. I'm sure, like, having it with the sisters was great too, but, like, conceptually,
it was a silent count for director Mike Franco. 3 cheers for director Mike Franco, by the way. Gang, gang, gang. Yeah, what a mix, like, right from the start.
Yeah.
It was variegated, but it was still thematic. Shout out to the big homie DJ Mike Franco.
Birthday? This is not a birthday. What are you doing?
It's balloons. It doesn't have to be birthday. You can just have balloons.
Those need to be reserved for parties, for birthdays.
Be on the lookout for the post.
Wait, what did you give this one?
I gave this one a 9.7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely high 9s. I could see that.
High 9. Be on the lookout for posts.
Okay, and tomorrow,
because we're going to be talking about the game night. So be on the lookout for the game night post. I'll put the game night post up there. I'm still figuring out the logistics with Soraya and Amy. We'll figure it out between the three of us. But be on the lookout for that. If it gets 50 likes, and we'll all have a game night. You don't have to be a patron.
Is that going to be posted on Patreon? Or
We'll post it
So it'll be a
everywhere.
public post on Patreon for them to like?
Yep.
Okay. All right. We have a stream, okay, right here where we are in Florida. It's 12:09 a.m., which means we are now at April 8th. So April 8th, in a few hours, I guess you could say 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have DJ The Wackator coming up. And does he have a lineup for us? So be there or be square. So shout out to DJ Franco for bringing us together tonight, because this was not on the lineup.
That is so crazy.
What?
The Korn Sick and Twisted tour.
What about it?
Hold on, I'm gonna post it in right now. April 8th. I cannot believe that. Holy smokes.
What?
That was in the year 2000. That was my first ever rock show.
Oh,
was
really?
the Korn Sick and Twisted tour. Yeah. That's a little emotional for me. I'm not gonna lie. That's so crazy. Right there. Nassau Coliseum. That's right. In Uniondale, New York City. Oh man, that was so crazy. I can't believe that. That was my first rock show.
So where was it? In New York, you said?
Yeah.
Was that that wasn't like those shows that were like last minute, you could get them for a good deal shows?
No, this was Korn. This was like, it was right after Woodstock 99. They were at their peak. Issues had just come out. That was when, like, it was over with. Like, the whole world was Korn at that point. Okay. And that was fucking 25 years ago. Holy shit.
Now you understand experientially so when older people would be like, that was actually.
That's
be like,
so
what is
crazy
this person saying it like that? It is crazy.
And then now I'm like asking about distortion pedals. The world is crazy. The world is crazy. I'm asking about distortion pedals and shit with the dude that like got me into that band in the first place. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's got to be so.
Like, it was Brian. It was Head. Like, seeing him like the way that he was, like on stage in Woodstock. That was the reason that I became and got the life. You know, like Man, it's life is so crazy. Life is so freaking crazy.
So just so everybody is aware, what we're actually doing come 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is a full album review. So it's Leprous Tall Poppy Syndrome full album.
Who is this
Leprous
for?
is the Wacky Tour.
This is Wacky Tour's
yeah.
thing, right?
So Leprous is the band, and like I said, we'll be doing the full album. So come through for that. That should be interesting. That should be fun. And
be on the lookout for everything. We love you, beautiful people. Get some rest. Vin out.
Sori out.